folks, welcome to Never on the Back Foot. This is the channel's first ever watch along, and I'm so happy to be doing this with Hari Prasad and Darshan for the first time, I think, in forever. I think my guests know this. I share a bunch of pointers with them. There's questions and everything, but this is just going to be a very free flowing, easy conversation. Just imagine, watching a match with your friends. In this case, your friends being us, hopefully not forced friends, and you can tolerate us probably for the next 3-4 hours. But hi Darshan, hi Hari Prasad. First things first, how you both doing? And just excited for tonight's match. We can probably have Darshan start off and then Hari can take over.
Absolutely, Neha. Yeah, thank you for having me again. I'm very excited for this game. Promises to be a very tense contest. I think Delhi have picked up some really good momentum in the last few games. Their team has really started to come together a lot better. And but RCB have just been doing RCB things. Have been almost unstoppable throughout. And they showed against UP Warriors just how good they are. It's very much an exciting contest. Two teams that were dealt very heavy injury blows at the start, with Delhi without Sutherland and RCB without Pez. So definitely, huge credit to both teams for adapting around that and coming this far. I'm very excited to share the space with you guys and enjoy a good game, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to this game actually. It's been a really good month of cricket out there. RCB winning five on the trot, and then had this small slump in form, and then going back to win against UP Warriors and directly qualifying for the finals. And DC doing that remarkable comeback, I think it was phenomenal. Really happy for them, and it's going to be a repeat. A fixture is going to be a repeat of the second WPL. Hopefully the result in favor in us as well, but nevertheless hoping for a really good contest between bat and ball between the two teams. So yeah.
I mean, I agree with the sentiment that both of you have brought in. Let's actually take a few comments from our live chat itself. We have a bit of predictions coming in, I think. Syed goes on to add that I think DC will win the match. He also goes on to say that DC didn't, win a single IPL tournament till today, both men and women. That's why I support DC to win their first, in this case, I think WPL title. But guys, let's just actually have a look at the head-to-head itself, right? Delhi, are like overwhelming. I wouldn't say favorites, but they're like literally running away with the honors. But this edition too, right? Like it's one match has been won by RCB and the other by Delhi Capitals as well. Again, I'll start off with Hari Prasad on this one, on just the matchup. The head-to-head between these two teams, and do you think both the teams would sort of be reading into that?
I mean, if you see, this is a mega auction that's happened just before this season's WPL, and I think it's a completely new. I mean, it's led by a new captain this time. Jemimah has been leading Delhi instead of the usual McLanning, who's been leading before. So I think new ideas, and Jemmy's captaincy has been like tremendous this whole WPL. I think a lot of good calls with the bowling, and their opening combination, I think, has gotten more destructive with Lizelle coming in. I mean, not no disrespect to Meg Lanning, obviously, but then the combination of Shafali and Lizelle has been really destructive, and we saw that again in the previous match as well. So, I mean, hoping for a good contest regardless, but I don't think I'd read too much into the matchup. But 1-1, lost one, both the teams. So, hoping for a good contest this, in a bit, yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed in that regard. And Darshan, again, like your thoughts on the same question?
Yeah, likewise. I think I echo Hari Prasad's sentiment. There's been a mega auction. So obviously the team that lost several fixtures, the RCB team that lost several fixtures to Delhi is not the same one that's playing today. Likewise, the same Delhi team that beat RCB all those times is not there. Hari Prasad also mentioned Jemmy coming in as a new captain. So there's definitely a change there. And also this is the first time two Indian captains are facing off in a WPL final. So that's another interesting twist. So we're guaranteed a fourth consecutive Indian captain winning the WPL. So we'll see which one comes out on top. But yeah, I don't think either team will be thinking too much about that. Both teams have won a really convincing win against the other so far. RCB won that first game over in Mumbai, and then coming Vadodara, Delhi punched back quite well. So I don't think they'll think too heavily about the history. I think just focus on the big day, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, because when you just look at the case of Delhi, right, in the past seasons, they just topped the table. They booked their place in the finals, and I think a lot of fans, sort of attributed them losing the final to not having enough match practice and, just not being in that sort of a rhythm. This time around, unfortunately, I'd say RCB is in that position, right? Like having won all of their league matches and then ensuring that they have booked their place in the final. And there were also, I'm not sure reports are like, was it like out there? The team did go to, Goa to just sort of reset and like get a hang of things. Again, Darshan, like just talking about the match preparation and match readiness, right? Because Delhi's playing what, their third match in like just 5 days, and you have RCB that hasn't played for 6 days. Again, do you think this is something that's like weighing on the minds of players as much as they deny it?
I don't know. I think it's difficult to say, but it can go both ways. On one hand, you have a bit more rest, particularly when you think of Pooja Vastrakar, for example. Like if that extra rest could mean that she could be bowling in this final, I think RCB would be very happy with that. But on the other hand, we have seen like sometimes when you don't have the practice, it hurts a bit. You could see it on the flip side for Delhi as well, like playing a lot of games that might be under a certain amount of fatigue to come in and win this game. So it's yeah, definitely it could work both ways for both teams. But yeah, I think Delhi will probably be riding a little bit more momentum. I think having won quite a few, I think they've won their last 2 or 3 fixtures on the trot. So that's one thing that I think will go in their favor a tiny bit. But yeah, I think RCB will be in a very good headspace. They've done so well so far. They know their combination well. So I'd say yeah, I think both. Like I said, I don't think either team will really think too much about that.
And here, Hari Prasad, I probably want you to chime in as well with your thoughts, because as much as, again, players deny that, but having that momentum, right, having played a few games, like Delhi, I think in all fairness, has been peaking, right? Just their performances coming in so well. I think they were the underdogs heading into that eliminator, but the way they just, came through was remarkable. They've had like a lot of match winners in this tournament so far. But again, just your thoughts on match readiness for both teams?
I think it's been a trend in this WPL. I mean, due to the fact that we have only one, I mean, like 5 teams, and the window is pretty small. So there have been instances where teams have had to play the very next day after a complete T20 game that's been played. So if you see it that way, and captains usually talk about treating the final as just one more game. The pressure might be different in the dressing room, but then they just come out and say that it's just another game that we're looking to win. So if that's to be considered, then I think it's just another day for Delhi Capitals to. I mean, it's just a continuous stretch of games where they're just looking at it as another game, and they try to win there. But like Darshan mentioned, I think it can go both ways. And RCB's had a time off. I think a 9-day window, if I'm not wrong. They've gone to Goa, had some fun there, and then come back here. So, having said that, yeah, they are well rested, but I mean, I'm sure they've been practicing nonstop. I think they did mention that the last 2 days just before the finals would be dedicated to the training sessions and stuff. So, having said that, yeah, I mean, happy for them that they've got the rest, but at the same time, Delhi would be riding high on confidence from that win against Gujarat Giants. So, can go both ways, just like Darshan mentioned.
Yeah, and I think as the optimistic RCB fans that we are, trying to be, as objective as possible, we'd hope that, all of these rest days don't come back to bite RCB. But Arnold, nobody goes on to add that RCB 70-30 after toss, but who holds the nerve matters most, right? I see where the sentiment is coming from. I'll start off with Hari Prasad on this one. The toss itself, right? I mean, RCB won the toss, decided to bowl first. Finally, Jemimah Rodrigues faces a loss in tosses, right? I think she's won 8 out of 10 this season, which is still like quite the remarkable feat. But again, do you think the toss will have a sort of a bearing on the outcome of the game itself?
Not really. I think if you see if the finals of various other tournaments, I think you need to be the better team. Toss will give you an advantage for sure, but then it's all down to how you perform that day. I mean, uh, didn't want. I mean, I don't want to bring the men's team into this, but then if you see last year when RCB played the Punjab Kings, I think the RCB lost the toss. They were put into bat first, and then they went on to win the game. So I think it all come. I mean, just to give an example. So I think it all comes down to how ready you are for the match and how you execute your plans well. So the toss does play a factor, but I don't think it should matter that much.
Yeah, fair point there. And Darshan, do you quickly want to add something here before ball one gets underway?
Likewise, yeah, I echo most of Hari Prasad's sentiments as well. As well, yeah, it's a little bit of credit to the curators as well. I feel the tosses, the pitches have been such that winning the toss does not really confer a significant advantage to either side. Of course, yeah. So I think it's been very good in that front. Um, RCB will be happy that they can maybe execute their plans the way they wanted to. But yeah, I think absolutely either side could take it home today. We never really know. So.
Yeah, and I think what I also found very interesting was both teams, right, went with an unchanged playing 11, sort of trusting their nucleus and the core to do their job. So, Darshan, I'll again start with you. Like, what did you make of the playing 11 and the team combination for Delhi? And then probably you can, share your thoughts on RCB, and then Hari Prasad can take over.
Yeah, I think both teams went in pretty much as expected. I didn't really expect any changes at this stage. Delhi have looked really good so far. I don't think anyone in that squad really. I don't think there's anyone I would any obvious change there. From an RCB side, the only thing I might have thought of is maybe a Prema Rawat for Arundhati Reddy. Again, because Delhi are very right hand bat RHB heavy, so having the leg spinner who takes it away from them could be a point of difference. And she did bowl very well against Delhi in that match in Mumbai. But again, I can't fault them for going with an unchanged 11 into the final. Generally, you don't like to make changes in these last couple of games. So yeah, I think both sides have put on a pretty good side, a pretty good team. For RCB, again, the only thing I'm curious for is if Pooja Vastrakar bowls today because she didn't do it. She didn't do so in the game against UP.
I mean, I have nothing much to add. I mean, it was pretty much what Darshan said, basically. I would have had Prema, I think, in the lineup as well. Especially, I mean, just because of what Darshan mentioned, being pretty right hand, dominant. And yeah, I'm a little concerned if Pooja would bowl. But then if the break has to do anything like with it, I think if that helps and if we do see Pooja bowling a little, then all well and good. But apart from that, I think those were my only reservations with RCB's lineup. But having said that, like Darshan mentioned, I wouldn't want to like disturb a settled 11, which is being winning them games. So, having said that, I think yeah, I mean it's understandable. But with DC, I don't think they would have. I think they've gone with their best lineup on paper. So yeah, nothing surprising there.
Yeah, I think with Delhi, this was possibly the strongest playing 11 they could field, right? And with RCB, I think I agree with both of you that probably having Prema Rawat, I was thinking probably in place of Pooja Vastrakar itself, because Arundhati Reddy again is someone you would probably trust. Pooja is just returning from injury, but either case, I think, we're just going to trust the team to do their thing. And I think they're running a little late with the match itself because of the closing ceremony, and now, we see anthems happening. But guys, we still have time, before the match gets underway. So it's probably, fair on my part to ask for some matchups you're excited to see, right? Hari Prasad, I'll again start with you on this one. Like, any matchups you're excited to see in this game and watch that unfold?
I just want to see how the RCB openers do against Marizan Cap. I think really great bowler. I mean, really one of the best bowlers, to be honest, and probably the best, if not the best. I mean, so I think how RCB does against Cap and the power play, that would be something to be seen. And same goes with like conversely as well. The Delhi openers doing against Lauren Bell. I think Lauren Bell having bowled the most dot balls in this tournament, and the destructive pair of Lizard Lee and Shafali Verma. I mean, it'll be pretty exciting to see how they do against the opening bowlers. Or I mean, with Lauren and Sayali as well. I'm not going to count her out. I think she's stepped up in Elise. I mean, being named as a replacement for Elise Perry. I think she's really stepped up and has delivered when the team needed her the most. So I think that's something I'll be looking forward to.
And Darshan, your matchup, something you're excited to look forward to today?
Yeah, definitely. I echo Hari Prasad's sentiments. I think Cap versus the RCB openers will be very key because Grace Harris has been was very good against UP, and I think that destructiveness up top is very key. And Smriti as well versus Shri Charani. I think that'll be a very important one because Shri Charani she's had a real turnaround since the tournament moved to Vadodara. So I think definitely having that left, and Smriti is generally one who faces the left arm spinners very well. So RCB will definitely want her in there to sort of nullify that threat. And conversely, Delhi would probably want to try and get her out early so that that matchup doesn't happen ideally. That's definitely one for me. And of course, yeah, I'm excited to see yeah, I'm excited to see how Lizelle and Shafali negotiate Lauren Bell. That's probably what's going to come up in a few seconds. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I think that should be a very exciting fixture as well. And because if either side can get a good start in the power play, I think that will definitely go a long way in easing some of the nerves of the situation. So
Yeah, and I think I'm excited to see how Lauren Bell fares against, the DC openers, gotten the better of them on, both occasions in that way. I think we have a new face here in Nimish. Hi, if you're new here, please, do subscribe to our channel. He goes on to say, I think it's finally going to be fourth time lucky for Delhi Capitals. Feels like it's written for them today to end their drought. Going for a cup player of the match award today. That's a very bold prediction, I think. I think a lot of people wouldn't mind this. I was telling this to Hari Prasad off record as well. That although we are ardent RCB fans, we wouldn't mind a DC win because like cricketing gods have to at some point respect law of averages and ensure that Delhi wins. But yeah, do not. Yeah, I didn't say that. You can probably just cut that part out itself. But Unknown Nobody says 165 plus is a tricky chase, guys. Before the match gets underway itself, do you have any predictions on how much Delhi might, end up scoring? Like, what do you think is like a safe total for them? I know it's very difficult for you guys to think of it in your RCB jerseys, but just for a moment, if you had to give a thought, we'll start with Darshan on this one, and then Hari Prasad can chime in.
yeah, Vadodara has been a tricky venue because I don't think there have been some games where 140 was a good score, some games where 160 is a good score, some games where 200 was nearly chased down. So it'll be a tricky one. I'd say 180 plus is probably the best place to be safe. Maybe 170 is probably a good defendable total. Given the occasion, it's a final as well. So maybe 170, 180 is what Delhi would probably want to have. But yeah, we'll have to see how the pitch plays out in the next couple seconds.
I actually have a feeling DC might post a huge total, maybe around 180, 190 or something. Especially, I think, because RCB have struggled to take wickets in the middle. So that might go against them. And I'm expecting Lizelle and Shafali to give a good start in the power play as well. So they might be looking at a good, like a huge total to post. Jemmy's been phenomenal as well, striking the ball at a much better pace. So I'm expecting a huge total from Delhi this time.
Yeah, I think Hari Prasad doing an anti-jinx there, hoping that the very opposite does end up happening. And Nimish also goes on to add, although I'm too an RCB fan, but I want DC to win tonight, especially for two players, Jemimah Rodrigues and Marizan Cup. I think that's where a lot of our, affiliations to these players also sort of come through, and we're like, it's fine. If RCB loses, it's okay. No, do not quote me on this. And by the end of the stream, if you see tears, this is not the person who said that. And Unknown Nobody also says, excited to see Shreyanka versus right hand batters. I mean, this season, guys, like coming back from injury, she has been doing relatively well, gone for a few runs here and there. But I mean, all in all, just happy, right, with the way she's going. Again, Darshan, do you want to take this one first?
Yeah, for sure. I think she's been expensive at times. I think few days she's gone for a lot more, and even in the games that she's bowled well, I think there's been a few balls maybe that were not in the right areas. But at the same time, yeah, I'm excited. I think she's done very well for a player just coming back from injury. We know that's a difficult thing to do. She hasn't had a whole lot of game time between the 2024 T20 World Cup and now. So, given that, I think massive praise to her resilience to come back and do. I think she's one of the top 10 wicket takers already. So, very well done for her to get there.
Yeah, folks. Well, we are going to witness the first ball of the final itself. Yeah, a very sedate start. Too early to say that. Lizelle obviously is probably at her explosive best. I mean, let's talk about her performance, right, from the eliminator itself. She scored in what, 24 balls, a very crucial knock of 43 itself. Like, Hari Prasad, what has your impressions been of Lizelle, the batter? How like explosive she has been, carrying on that form, right, from WPBL for the Hobart Hurricanes to the Delhi Capital setup here?
Honestly, I didn't see her as a starter heading into this tournament, but I think when Sutherland was ruled out, I mean, when she made herself unavailable, I think it was a no-brainer that Lee would start. And I think she's been phenomenal. I mean, replacing Meg Lanning is not a easy task at all. I mean, you don't find such, I mean, great batters of Meg's caliber. And I think Lizzie stepped up in her shoes, like replacing her really well. I think has been is destructive, just like her opening partner Shefali, and I think she's been really phenomenal. So I think stopping her today would be the key that RCB bowlers would be looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think even like before the match started, the broadcasters were just showing the Lauren Bell dismissal of Lizelle, right, which absolutely shattered the stumps and broke things across. We would be hoping for something like that tonight. But again, just looking at her partner in crime, right, Shefali Verma, who's had quite the, I'd say, like silent season, right? Her strike rate again hovering somewhere in the 120s, so to say. That's the thing. What have you made of Shefali Verma and possibly like having a very not so great season?
Yeah, it's been interesting. She's been going a lot slower than normal. I think her strike rate is in the 120s when in the past I think it's averaging 150 something. So definitely a very interesting. Yeah, interesting to see that, especially given the World Cup success she had right before. Yeah, so yeah, I think part of it might also just be that she's also had to adapt to a new opening partner. Normally, she's the aggressor with Meg sort of holding back one, sort of holding ship at one end. On the other side, but now she's got Lee, who's more aggressive up top. Well, she might think she has to do that role because especially early on with maybe Delhi's middle order not quite pulling their weight quite as much. So maybe that's a factor. I don't know, but yeah, that's. But she did have, of course, had that one brilliant knock against RCB in the Mumbai game where she had that real where from a very difficult start she gave them something to fight with. So yeah, so we will see what happens today.
In fact, I think one of the interesting stats, brought in by the broadcaster again in the pre-match was I think Shefali's 4 out of 7 50s have come versus RCB itself. So yeah, RCB in all fairness is one of her favorite opponents, and what better occasion than the finals itself, right, to replicate her World Cup heroics again here. But I think so far Delhi has had a very slow start. Just as I say that, Shefali Verma steps down, hits a boundary. That's yeah, like okay, I'm just like jinxing things here, but 5 for no loss at the end of 1 over. Guys, again, let's just talk about Lauren Bell, right? A lot of people have spoken about, how efficient she's been, how, she's bowling the dot balls. She has so many variations. Started off as, a bowler who'd get injured so much, but now has added so much to her arsenal, right? The in swingers, the out swingers. Hari Prasad, I'll probably start off with you on this one about like what have you just liked about Lauren Bell 2.0, right? Who's been doing well in franchise cricket for England, has become that sort of a go-to player, right?
Actually, I was a little. I mean, first of all, the price that she was bought at, I think, raised a lot of surprises because I think she was deemed a little bit expensive, especially given the fact that she was first bought by UP Warriors and then she ended up pulling out of the tournament the very next season. So, I mean, if you see that way, I'm not really in favor of teams picking such players because you plan with such players in your squad, but then they end up pulling out like in the nth minute, and that just basically takes your planning for a toss. Even though I know she was a backup to Shabnam Ismail in the first season, but pulling out like that, I think. Not really the best outcome. So having said that, I think she's had a really, I mean, she's been a vital cog of the Southern Brave in the 100. I think the lead bowler there as well. So having said that, I think yeah, I mean, had a good World Cup as well in India. So is riding on form. Like I think she's one of the quickest bowlers out there who are currently playing the game. So yes, was pretty like she did go a little bit expensive, but I think she's really stepped up. I mean, having RCB having missed out Elise Perry as well, who ruled herself out of the tournament. I think she's come in really well, and she's been one of the best bowlers for RCB. So yeah, all in all, very happy with how she's performed.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. The way she has sort of been able to retain her form and just the kind of peak that she's in, right? It's definitely augurs well for RCB. Darshan, again, did you have any thoughts to add here about Lauren Bell and just what have you really enjoyed watching her bowling?
Yeah, actually, Hari Prasad mentioned people complaining about her price. I was one of those people actually, a lot. Because especially for a single discipline player, it's a lot. When you have only 6 overseas slots, that I felt that was a lot of money. But I think she's proven me wrong, and I'm very happy to look stupid with that prediction. But she's been really superb. She set the tone for RCB so well, so many times with the new ball, and yeah, I think credit to Smriti as well for not being conservative with her usage. She's often gone with her 3, often 4 overs just up top, and I think she's repaid the faith well. And even at the death, I thought some of her slower balls that came out were actually very good and like not easy to necessarily generate power off of. So a lot of credit to her for coming up with that. And yeah, I think just standout season for her. And yeah, very very happy she's doing well for my team.
Yeah, she's definitely been a massive positive for RCB, right? In the past few seasons, having that lead express pacer not being able to do their job was always something that weighed down not just on the fans but on the team itself. And I think this season, going under the radar again, has to be Saili Sadgare herself, right? Carrying on her form from domestic cricket, played a little bit for India as well. Again, guys, like what have you made of her, right? Being able to get wickets up front in the power play is always like good things. Darshan, we'll start off with you, and then Hari Prasad, you can probably add your thoughts on Saili Sadkari and what again have you liked of her?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's attacked the stumps quite a lot. I thought that was very good. Especially go back to the Delhi game and to the second Gujarat game. Both times I thought she was on the stumps a lot, and she was rewarded well for it. And yeah, she's filled in quite a. She's done a very good job for RCB with the new ball, which is very important given that they had to let Lindsay Smith out of the team, who was previously doing that role. So having her contribute with the new ball has definitely helped RCB sort of balance that out well. Or else they might have had to rotate Arundhati's Reddy's overs or Shreyanka's overs a little bit like that. So this has given them sort of made sure that that wasn't an issue, because previously they might have struggled to look for that second power play bowler because Arundhati Reddy doesn't really bowl that much with the new ball. So yeah, definitely she stepped up in a really big way. And again, there were a lot of questions about her coming in as Perry's replacement. I was one of those people, but I think yeah, full credit to her. She has done exceptionally well, and yeah, top notch.
Pretty huge shoes to fill, like Darshan mentioned. I mean, being named as a replacement from the start, I think it's not the. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on you because you haven't been a part of the tournament from the start, and you're just coming in between, unless you're a net bowler. But I mean, it does put a lot of pressure on you, and that too when you're named as a replacement of such a star player who's been vital to the team, to any team that they play for. I mean, she plays for, in this case, Ellis Perry for RCB. I think coming in as the designated number three batter for RCB, and having been one of the vital players, having been retained as well. So coming in as a replacement, I think that would put a lot of pressure on Saili, but then I think she's repaid the faith really well. I think having had to open the bowling alongside Lauren Bell, I think she's been really phenomenal, and we saw that in the game against DC where she picked those 3 wickets. So really impressed with how she's bowled, and hoping for a similar performance this today as well.
Yeah, I think she will definitely, have a performance like that because she gave away just 3 runs in that second over, right? As we were talking itself, that over got done a very, very miserly start, so to say. And Lizzie, just is looking to, actually smash it out of the park, but is really, really struggling, right, against the swing and seam of Lauren Bell itself. And I think under nobody goes on to add that fun fact, Lauren Bell has not won player of the match even once this season. I don't know, man. Her performance has just been like that. She's just winning, that green dot ball award like every single match. And I still think it's great stuff that, in a T20 match, like, she's able to generate so many dots and still, get that award under her name. And also, guys, I remember just seeing this stat, I think, from Crickbuzz itself that goes on to say that the average power play scores in the first innings at Vadodara is 41. The way Delhi is going on right now, like, do you guys have any prediction on how much they could potentially get to? I'm looking at somewhere in the range of like maybe a 35, 36, unless, either of them like start going berserk. But then what's the range like you guys are looking at for this match? Again, we can probably have Darshan start off and Hari can add, yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, they have started quite slowly, but again, the fun of these two batters is once they start going, they go really hard. So I think, yeah, if they get going, I think Delhi could even potentially push for 45, potentially 50 if they go really hard. But I think RCB have started quite well. If they keep that tempo up, maybe take a wicket or two here, they'd be probably able to keep Delhi to maybe 35 or so, which I think they'd be very happy with.
Yeah, I think Lizelle is kind of struggling against Lauren Bell at the moment. Not something you would expect out of a player of such a caliber, but then yeah, I mean she is struggling pretty much. Not giving a lot of strike to Shafali as well, maybe who could turn things around. But having said that, I think around 40, like you mentioned, should be a good. I mean, should be something that they will be looking at least that much. Maybe I think it depends on the first change bowler that RCB brings in as well. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, with Lizelle, there has always been the struggle, right, against swing bowlers, and even like the running between the wickets becomes a cause for concern in that regard. We have another comment that goes on to say Lee is frustrated. It's just good bowling by Lauren Bell. Hopefully, it continues for all the RCB fans who are, still tuning into our conversation. And yeah, right now the score is 9 for no loss at the end of 3 overs. I know this is not a test match. This is like a T20 match. This is the finals of the WPL. Probably expect a lot more. But I think due credit, right, to RCB and the way they've just been like bowling so far. Hopefully, we get to see a lot more of that as the match progresses. But guys, I've noticed one more thing. I think this was a trend even was it during the World Cup? No. So basically, in this WPL, like there was an expert who'd have like a phone in their hand and they'd probably ask Chat GPT some questions about the pitch and everything. Okay, which I just find it very bizarre. Like you have an expert for a reason. I know Chat GPT is like your biggest like sponsor for this tournament, but like what have you made of this very forceful like yeah, as we talk, Lizelle Lee gets a beautiful six there finally, off the blocks. Please don't tell me that's a no ball. But yeah, guys, like what have you made of this very forceful inclusion of like AI in cricket, and just like does it seem very off-putting? I think Hari Prasad, we can start with you first, and then Darshan, you can share your thoughts.
I mean, off-putting, yes, but I think we need to understand that AI is taking over the world. It's no surprise, honestly, and it was only a matter of time before it reaches the sporting industry as well. But I think AI can do its job, but I think it depends on what prompts you put as well. I think that's what you ask AI to like tell you. I think that depends a lot. That's basically what matters a lot. So having said that, I think yeah, it is off-putting because you depend. I mean, as sports fans have depended a lot on like our like instincts and what we watch. So having AI to depend on that, I think it does like put you off a lot. But it's no surprise that AI is taking over the world, and it's only a matter of time where it enters the sporting industry as well. And we've already started seeing that with ChatGPT being one of the sponsors for the WPL.
Again, not me, distracting the panels as Saili Sadgari is getting hit for two sixes here. I'm all in for like, having AI inclusion in cricket. Sorry for going on a bit of a tangent here, but then it just feels like you can use it for better things, right? Because ChatGPT, even now, when you ask certain questions, it just gives you like the most blatant wrong information. Like people who are not even fans will know that for a fact. But Darshan, again, you can share your thoughts on that. And I think I probably spoke too soon about RCB and the great start they had because we see another wide and 4 runs. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate over there. You might have seen me cringe a bit, but yeah, some good hitting from Lee there. But yeah, you have, it's a very good point you were talking about with AI in cricket. Yeah, it's definitely getting quite big. I know people working in tech, and they say it's coming in a lot of places. This implementation just feels more like a gimmick for sponsorship. I don't think this is a serious attempt at getting anything in. Because yeah, like I found ChatGPT in particular tends to be a little bit. It doesn't really understand cricket, if that makes sense. So a lot of the things it says don't really make sense. But I could definitely see it being a useful asset in some aspects. For example, in the area of in third umpiring, like it could potentially help expedite a lot of those things if implemented correctly. But as a general thing, I don't see the point of it. Like a sport itself is by definition a human sport. You could have two computers playing a perfect game of cricket. Nobody wants to watch that. But having a human sport is really what makes it all the more interesting. And an appeal for LBW. I hope that's out. But yeah, it's a very interesting point, and I would yeah, it would be really cool to see where it goes from here on out. But this implementation right now just feels like a gimmick for sponsorship.
Yeah, because I think in the Women's ODI World Cup itself, right, we saw the integration of Google Gemini, and I really liked, how they were sort of using it. There were some things that were definitely cringe, like asking an expert to, assess pitch conditions by asking like Google Gemini or Chat GPT itself. I don't think RCB went for the review, guys. Like, is your stream also like saying the same? Like, Smriti was, I think, considering it for a minute. Yeah, they don't go for the they don't go upstairs. But Lizzie, I think, just getting off the blocks, they're getting a little comfortable. Saidis this over, proving to be, I think, quite expensive itself. Hariprasad, let's probably get your thoughts on this. Like, Saidi Satri does have that tendency to sometimes get hit for runs, although she has like a great start, but gets a little wavered with her line and length. Like, are you someone who reads too deeply into it, concerning signs already?
I think if you put pressure on her, I think just as the replay came, I think it's an inside edge there. So I'm glad they didn't go for the review. But getting back on the topic of Siley, I think for any bowler, I think if you're up against a top batter and someone of the caliber like Lizzie, I think so once they start their counter attacking, I think it puts a lot of pressure on you. So as long as she can come back and pick her wicket or like try to restrict the run flow, I think she's bowled a dot and a single after that. So I think that's great. So as long as you make that comeback as strong as possible, I think that's all right. I mean, like, you should not be losing your focus while you're bowling. That's something I think Sally will be looking to do.
Yeah, fair point there. And I think we've just almost witnessed a stumping there. Richa Ghosh being very nifty there with her gloves. And yeah, I don't know. Like, we could possibly see a stumping here. A very interesting bouncer there coming in from Saili Sadgre itself. Shifari Verma getting nowhere close to the ball. Let's probably wait for the reviews itself. But probably we can take a few comments coming in our live chat as they look to get tech ready for it. Roman goes on to say they kept a rest day for WPL whenever the India New Zealand matches were scheduled. Actually, I did want to talk about it in the live stream. Probably rant a little about how bad the scheduling was in this Vadodara leg itself, right? So many break days. I know the players did deserve rest and everything, and it sort of made sense. But then the scheduling by itself just felt very bizarre. Again, Darshan, you can probably start off on this one, and Hari Prasad, you can add. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the introduction of double headers was also, I think, probably led to a few extra sort of gap days. They did the same thing last year as well. I think when India are playing the Champions Trophy, they didn't have any games there as well. But she's in, okay. But yeah, I think it could have been better. And even like this final that we're watching, it's on a Thursday. I think could have put that on a weekend where more people can come to the stadium and watch. It's a lot harder to go during a weekday. Same thing for the eliminator. Maybe you could have put that. But in the eliminator, I could understand being on a weekday. But yeah, that regard was a bit unfortunate. For the rest days, I think if they'd been timed a bit better, I think like the rest day between the Vadodara and the Mumbai leg, I get it. But some of the other ones, they just sort of like felt sort of out of nowhere. I think there was a point where they had a rest day, two games, then another rest day, which kind of sort of sucks the momentum out of the tournament. I remember the SA20 had a problem in its first season where I think South Africa were playing a test, so they just didn't have anything for 1 week, and that completely sucked a lot of the sort of excitement heading into the final. So I hope the WPL can learn from that a little bit and maybe try and keep things going as smoothly. Hopefully, as more teams come, that'll stop being a thing. As I think, based on don't quote me on this, but I have a feeling that they will be expanding in 2028. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we see a few new teams and maybe that schedule will be a little bit more continuous.
Yeah, I think we just keep our fingers crossed that more teams get added. But Hari Prasad, again, your quick thoughts on the rest days and how whatever the schedule was.
It just felt like the priority was more towards the scheduling of the India and New Zealand games more than the WPL, because having a double header on Saturday and not on a Sunday, I mean, that makes no sense. Sundays are when like all your families get together and they watch the games. Like they have family time and stuff like that. So more often on Sundays than Saturdays. So having double headers on Sundays makes more sense than on Saturdays. But like I mentioned, I think they prioritized the scheduling of the India and New Zealand series more than the WPL. Disappointing. And talking about the final being on a Thursday, I mean, that's not good. I agree it's not good. But what's more disappointing is that it's in Vadodara. It's happening in Vadodara. I mean, make no mistake, I'm sure it's passionate, but then it's not it if it would make sense if it was in a place somewhere like Mumbai, where there are a lot of people who turn up despite it being a Thursday. I think that's where you attract your crowd a lot more as compared to hosting in a place like Vadodara. I mean, I'll be very honest, Vadodara was where I was born, I think. So I'm really I'm kind of happy that's happening there. Personally, I'm happy, but then planning should have been better. I think maybe if the final was happening at the DY Patil Stadium, I think we'd have had a lot more crowd as what we're having right now. But yeah, I mean, it's really disappointing with whatever has been happening.
Yeah,
If I might add
definitely
one more
agree.
thing to that, yeah, I definitely agree. And I think there was also another problem in Mumbai because during elections, they were not able to provide security for the venue, so they couldn't have crowds. So again, that's something that I feel they could have looked into ahead of time. Maybe you could have even switched the order, so start in Vadodara, finish in Mumbai, so then you avoid that, or even adding a third venue because the last two seasons, last season had a third venue. You had Bangalore, Vadodara, and Mumbai. So it would have been nice to have a third venue, maybe I don't know. There's so many places. Maybe a Kolkata, which is out of the blue. I don't know. If you wanted to go somewhere, if you didn't want to go to Bangalore, you could try Kolkata, something like that. Maybe a Chennai, just to bring the game to like big stadiums, things like that. That would be something. That would be something that would be nice to see. So yeah, just a little bit disappointed with the logistics there. But yeah, so just to rant that out there.
I'm glad that both of you shared these perspectives, right? Because there's still an entire school of thought of people who believe that this was the right thing they did, and it made sense that the players sort of would have benefited a lot from the break days. But it was again done with the intention that they were prioritizing the New Zealand matches itself. Ruman obviously very cheekily adding here that are they scared that nobody will watch the men's game anymore? I mean, the WPL has reached that stage, right, where it has like an entire fan base of its. But I think the concern that the BCCI had was like probably the divided ness that it could cause, I think, amongst fans who want to watch both. So probably that could have been the mindset. Unknown Nobody also, goes on to add that BCCI could have added one more team this season. I completely agree with the sentiment. I mean, you are doing a mega auction this season. Why didn't you add a new team, right? Anyways, teams were going in for the reset. The fact that they kept like up to five retentions and everything was still like very, very confusing, puzzling, and all of that. But guys, again, this whole one team that could have been added, like Darshan did go on to mention that possibly 2028, 29, we could see that happening. Again, Darshan, we'll start off with you on this one. Like, do you think this season could have been one where you could have had that additional team? Because the 100 and the WPBL sees 8 teams participating. What's stopping the BCCI and like the WPL governing council?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I've been quite vocal about this even on Twitter as well. Like there should have been a sixth team or maybe even a seventh team this year. I remember we had a small mock auction a few months ago with 7 teams, and actually all the teams look very competitive. So there is enough depth of talent to have 18 players a squad for 7 teams. So that's not. I don't think that's an excuse. I just think that yeah, I just think that they didn't think it through, which is disappointing because the WPL is a very profitable product if you're looking at it from that angle. And it's helping grow women's cricket in India. Just look at the number of players that have come out. Krantika, Charani, who are both part of the title winning team, both WPL products. So I think it's a little bit disappointing that we're not getting quite as much. Because besides tending to more fan bases, it would also allow more players to sort of get into teams and play games. So we see someone like, Diya Yadav, who's on the bench for Delhi for so long. You might see her. Oh, yeah, is that in the ouch. Just they've been going quite close to the fielders so far. But anyways, yeah. So I think having that would also allow more people to get game time, and that would ultimately just lead to more growth for Indian cricket. So I think yeah, a bit disappointing they didn't do that this time. But on the other hand, it's also led to this very awkward 2-year mega auction cycle, which to me feels a bit awkward because it doesn't really encourage teams to develop any talent. Like, because what's the point in, like, if we take Prema Rawat for example, what's the point in RCB trying to give her a lot of games here, only to have her go back into the pool in 2 years' time, like in 2028. So, but yeah, that's just my rant on that.
Fair point there, Darshan. And Hariprasad, do you want to probably add your thoughts on this whole extra team that could have potentially been added?
Honestly, whatever Darshan said, I mean, I completely agree with that. That's the thing, right? I mean, even if you see in the IPL when it was started, I think there were a lot more teams there, and a lot of talent came out. Someone like a Ravindra Jadeja, who had played the under 19 tournaments back then, but then he came out pretty like, I mean, he became a little more famous, got into the Indian team as well, like that. If you see that way, so I think that's something that the WPL could have had as well, probably an extra team. And I mean, you see, I mean, you probably could have had an extra Indian captain as well, another captaincy prospect. I mean, it could be anyone if you see in that way. So, having said that, I think yeah, they should have had another team, at least one more team. I mean, because if you don't give the opportunity, then I mean, a lot of like Twitter like comments basically say that probably this the domestic strength is not enough to have another team or something like that. But you won't know until you try, right? I mean, I think you give more opportunities, and then that's when you have like one or two like a few talents coming out, and then you always have the overseas pool as well. I mean, because it's pretty immense, and you always have that, and also with the fact that you have associate nations who can come in as your fifth player, fifth overseas slot. So having said that, I think I'm actually a little disappointed that a lot of teams aren't using that to their advantage. I mean, yeah, we did have Tara Norris being picked by UP Warriors, but then I think she was like ruled out later on. That was unfortunate, but then it's a little disappointing that a lot of I mean, the teams aren't using that to their advantage. I mean, there are a lot of, I mean, we've seen Catherine Bryce, Sarah Bryce play before, Tara Norris again with DC as well. So I think they should use that to their advantage, and probably that basically shows that there is a huge talent pool out there, and you won't know until you see the domestic pool as well. You might have another superstar coming out who has not made the under 19 squad. I mean, yes, we had Nikki come in, but then we saw Trisha being picked up this year. I mean, when she had a really good under 19 World Cup last time, so, and having not been picked last time. So having said that, I think having more teams, giving more opportunities, I think that is really necessary. So yeah, very disappointed that we didn't have another team this time.
And guys, honestly, for all the people who mention points like, we don't have enough talent in our system, I think they really need to go have a proper reality check and just have a look in the mirror itself, right? Because it's crazy. It's 2026. We have so many domestic competitions right now. In fact, we have an under 15 tournament, an under 23. Before that, there's an under 19 as well. You have the senior level tournaments as well. Just the kind of depth in the pool. Now, each state has their own league itself, right? So there's definitely no dearth of talent, and the BCCI is not doing any favor on themselves by not, streaming these matches, which makes it incredibly difficult for us layman fans, armchair experts, figure out things and see. Like the scouts have knowledge of this. That's how you see, some great picks happening in the WPL. And sorry to all the viewers who are watching. I know we're going on a lot of tangents here, but Delhi, seem to be probably getting in the groove. At least for me, my stream shows 49 for no loss at the end of 5.4 overs. Arundhati getting hit a little bit there. Shefali just, again, sort of maneuvering the field really well, getting all the fielders on their feet. But yeah, guys, I think the prediction that you all had made also, like at the end of 6 overs, probably somewhere in that like 40 to 50 wala mark is what I think Delhi is looking to go at. Let's also take this comment from our live chat. Roman goes on to say that, to be honest, Vadodara was for long the center of women's cricket in India. It's only recently that DY Patil has taken up that position. Might have to fact check this one, because for the longest time, the Indian women's team did play matches like across India. It wasn't like Vadodara was the center. Like there were a few matches that happened there, but it was not like a lot in that sense. Yeah. Do we finally see a wicket, guys? That's nicked. Yeah, Shefali Verma is gone. Arundhati Reddy is like absolutely excited with this one. Crestfallen Shefali Verma. The reaction gives it away. Yeah, guys, just talk us through this dismissal. I know, like, we're just yapping and talking here, but we see a wicket falling. Shefali Verma, the very dangerous Shefali Verma, in a final going for 20. Good signs. Darshan, your thoughts? Let's start off with you.
Oh, absolutely. I thought Shefali was looking really good. So yeah, good little bump ball to surprise her there from Aru. Nice change up, and very sharp take from Richa. It was sort of coming like this, so, and shouldn't have had full visibility of the ball, I think. So very sharp take. And yeah, very key for RCB because this wicket has, like Vadodara generally so far in these games, has rewarded set batters who sort of take a little bit of time early on. They can really kick on after. So to get her now before she can go on to do additional damage, I think a big win for RCB. So hopefully one brings two. So.
No, I'm just hoping the law of all averages don't catch up with Laura Woolward. I think she's had a very lukewarm season this time around, and you never know. Today might be the day where she actually strikes it big. So I'm a little scared about that. But yeah, I think Shefali was looking good. And like I mentioned before, I think it's all down to the first change bowler that comes in. Yes, Arundhati did get hit for a bit, but then she's come back strong and taken a wicket right now. Really happy for that. But I still won't rule Laura Woolwart out. You never know. There might be a good innings coming out there. So yeah, let's see.
Laura Wolfert is definitely one exciting batter, right? Again, starts off her innings on a very ominous note, a brilliant four there. Very unlike Laura Wolfert four
Yep,
because
this
she's
is
been
what I was talking about.
yeah. And probably let's take a moment here, guys, to talk about Laura Wolfart coming in at number three, right? We've seen her do that for Adelaide Strikers, sort of playing out of position. And now here at Delhi Capitals too, because I think the management really thinks that, Lizelli and Shifari Verma up top is the way to go. Again, Darshan, do you want to probably start us on this? Like, what do you make of Laura Wolfart coming in at three and how she's sort of capitalized so many opportunities this season?
It's been good because it's given Shefali and Lizelle a little bit more freedom to sort of do what they want to do up top. So you know that even if there's an early wicket, you have someone like her to come up and sort of carry on. Um, yeah, she did have that one amazing knock against Gujarat in Mumbai. I remember where she almost took them home. I think since then it's been slightly more lean pickings for her, but still, yeah, she's a quality player, and she also does do pretty good against RCB. I think historically, I think her first two games against RCB were two big 50s. So, yeah, so hopefully that doesn't come to good again today. But yeah, let's see.
And Hari Prasad, your thoughts again on this?
No, like I said, I mean Laura Woolwart is one of the best players going around in the women's scene. So having said that, I'll never rule her out. Even if she's in a lean patch, there might be that one innings where she comes out of nowhere and gets that big knock. So and today might be that day for all you know. And like started her innings with a four, Lizzie with another four as well. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, she started off with a four. So having said that, I'm never ruling Laura Woolwart out, even if she's in a form slump. So yeah, I mean, let's see.
I mean, she's a big match player, right? We saw that during the Women's ODI World Cup itself, and carrying it on to the WPL is definitely great signs. Lizelle Lee, pounding Shreyanka Patil there for a boundary. Again, like, what do you make of Shreyanka Patil's like entry point right now, right? Coming in after the power play itself. Hari Prasad, let's probably start off with you on this one. Just as I say this, another four that happens there, back-to-back fours. Lizelle Lee just getting on top of her. Yeah, Hari Prasad, we'll start off with you on this one, and Darshan, you can chime in about Shreyanka Patil coming in at this juncture of the game.
I think that's been an entry point for I mean, this whole tournament, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I mean, pretty disappointing. I know she's coming off an injury, and yeah, she did have a good CPL as well, winning the title with Barbados Royals. But yeah, I mean, little disappointing that she's been going for a lot of runs when she has to be like containing the run flow, uh, getting hit again. Lizzie just took her for a six again right now. As long as she can get the wickets, I think she's been taking the wickets as well. It's not just that she's been going for runs. So it's like 50. It's just going like this at the moment. So if she can get those wickets, I think she'd have done her job. Just continue to do what she's doing. Maybe with a little more restriction on the run flow, but just continue picking those wickets like she's been doing.
Yeah, I think a tough initiation into this match, getting smashed for two fours and one six. Naman, again, a friend of the podcast, goes on to ask us, DC, ever the bridesmaid, never the bride. Is this going to be their year? I think, in all fairness, like, they have managed to come to the final again, albeit the eliminator route. And I think the history of WPL itself has shown, right? Teams that come to the eliminator often go on to win. And we'll see, one of the trends getting broken either way. But yeah, let's see, if that does end up happening. I know nobody also going on to say that Nadine should have bowled this over. Ooh, I think that was an interesting one. Like, Darshan, again, let's probably start off with you on this one. I see a very vigorous nod and probably Nadine for this over.
Yeah, because Nadine de Klerk is also the bowler they've tended to bring on immediately after the power play. And I thought that would have been the right move, just given that Lizelle was a little bit uncomfortable against the fast bowlers. She did find a bit of rhythm against Sayali, of course, but I think maybe Nadine de Klerk was very good at sort of like getting it straight, sort of at the stumps line. I think that would have maybe varying the length and the pace a bit. That would have been something that would have been a little bit more useful. I feel like Shreyanka's it's sort of feeding into her strengths a bit more. Yeah, so maybe I would have liked to go with the seamer instead of the spinner at this stage. Maybe hold Shreyanka's overs back a little bit later for somebody for a little bit later on the road for some of the lower order hitters maybe.
Yeah, fair point there because Shriyanka gets stoned for what 19 runs in this seventh over, and like Delhi Capitals is right now 72 for 1 in 7 overs. Considering the start they had, right, I think they really fancy themselves to get that sort of a big total, which is very similar to the prediction that Hari Prasad had made. And yeah, Nadine is introduced into the bowling attack. Does she start off with okay? Oh, that's out, guys. What is happening? Okay, Lizzie immediately goes up for the review. This looks very close. At least, like my first impression says, this is out. Quick thoughts, guys. What do you think? Hari Prasad out? Does that look
Kind
out?
of looks plump to me.
Yeah,
Unless
and
there's a bat, I think it might be plump.
Darshad
Yeah, I
again. What
agree.
do
It
you
looked
think?
it looked very stray, very adjacent. It goes to what I was saying, sort of just like getting that on the stumps line, maybe varying up the length a bit. That's something that Lizelle has not really middled this game this so far. So I think maybe had they done that the previous over, maybe this could have come sooner.
Yeah, I think the replay is also sort of confirming what we have to say. I hope it's not missing, but then a bias call will obviously come into play there. We will talk about Nadine de Klerk in a bit. Let's just watch this review. You'll probably see us just staring at our screen,
I
viewers. But
think it
we are
might be
here.
umpire's call.
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, meanwhile, let's probably take this comment. Naman goes on to say 72 for 1 at the end of 7 overs. What total would RCB be happy with at the end of 20 overs? Naman, I think they'd be happy if it's like a 140, 150, but the world is not a wish granting factory, and DC, the way they are, very, like they can't really go after opponents. Probably a 165, 170 would make for a great match, provided RCB has a great start with their batting as well. But I'll pose this question to our panelists in just a bit. I don't know why, like, technology is taking so much time, but okay, they have to always see Ultra Edge first. Let's see what that says to us. Lizelle seems pretty confident that, there was like probably a little bit of impact of the bat, but the line seems to be like clear, no?
If it's hit off front pad, then I think she might be just safe here.
Smriti Mandhana
Yep,
and Nadine de
front pad.
Klerk. Yeah. Deep conversation there, yeah. Keep pitching in line. Impact also in line. The wickets are missing. Umpire's call, please. Yeah. Darshan and Hari Prasad's reaction, just giving it away there. One
Good
of
review
those.
there.
Yeah, a good one.
Yeah, like Hari Prasad said, I think she was saved very much by getting hit on the front pad. So it gave the ball just, I think, a little bit of extra room to sort of move away. It had hit her on the back pad, which it was actually very close to. I think it would have actually might have been umpire's call.
Oh, yeah, correct. Yeah, the nitty gritties and the rules of cricket when it comes to the umpire's call. Thanks, Darshan, for that clarification. But here's probably where we can actually talk about Nadine de Klerk itself, right? Oh my God, from the Women's ODI World Cup, the impact that she's gone on to make, I think, again, adjectives fall short to describe the impact she's had coming in to RCB as well, right? Was a part of the setup in 2024, again, a part of the setup in 26. Darshan, yeah, let's probably start off with you. Like, what have you liked of Nadine de Klerk this season?
I think she's been a game changer for RCB, absolutely, with both disciplines. We saw what she could do with the bat in the opening game. That's gone up in the air, hopefully.
Yes, that's a wicket.
Okay, sorry, just so we get the wicket there. But
Love that.
yeah, I think like she's done there. She's created so much impact. She's been very disciplined with the ball. So we saw even in the UP Warriors game where they got off to quite a good start. She was the one who sort of came in and pegged them back. So she's been excellent with that. We haven't actually seen too much of her with the bat since that first game. She played a good cameo against Gujarat in the first game. I think since then she's not quite had as much to do with the bat. But against Mumbai, of course, also she played another very good cameo in the second game. So she's done very well, I think. So top class knock, and top class play for her all round. I was very surprised that RCB were able to get her so cheap because I thought sometimes there is a thing in the IPL, just sorry to divert to men's cricket, where if somebody does well against India, they get quite a sizable bid in the IPL auctions. I thought that might be a factor here because we all remember Nadine de Klerk's performance against India in that league stage game. But to get her at just 65 lakh is an absolute steal. And I think she's only 26 now, so I think she could be one for many, many years for RCB to come. So again, yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I just really loved, what we saw for in the ODI World Cup and to carry it on to the WPL also, just great signs. Hari Prasad, again, over to you. Like, what have you loved of Nadine de Klerk?
I'd actually like to bring in, like, when we were having a discussion during the auctions, I think I remember when RCB just missed out on Chanel Henry, and I was pretty disappointed. And then Darshan came in and told we still have nothing declared to get, and then we ended up getting her. And I'm like, hats off. I mean, really good call there, Darshan. Hats off to you for that. And yeah, she's been phenomenal this whole WPL and even the one before that. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think she was a replacement player in the second season, if I'm not wrong, right? So I think RCB has always had a good knack with replacement players. We've seen it with the men's team and the women's team, with Nadine de Klerk in the second season and then Sayali right now. So I think really happy for her. I think she's been a mainstay. I think ever since Elise Perry was ruled out, I think she had to come in and like fill in for her in her shoes, and I think she's done phenomenal in that front. So really happy with how Nadine de Klerk has been this season.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree with all the points both of you brought in, and just taking our attention to the live chat itself. Pranav goes on to say, "Great watch along. My fully legal stream probably means I'll rewind the stream a bit to sort of avoid spoilers. Yeah, we'll try our best not to get too excited or too hyper, but then we just can't probably keep our emotions in control when it's RCB playing." Unknown Nobody also goes on to say, also Grace has to bowl 2 overs tonight. Wicket to wicket line, pace variation works tonight really well. Again, guys, thoughts on this? Probably start off with Hari Prasad on this one, and Darshan can take over. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think she was really happy the last time she was given 2 overs to bowl. I think I remember her telling in the post-match presentation saying that I'm glad to be considered as an all-rounder. So, having said that, I think, yeah, I mean, I would love to have Grace Harris bowl. I mean, but provided the matchups really like play a part here, because I think after having seen Shreyanka get hit for so much, I think they might hesitate to bring her on. Would probably give Radha an over. I know she's not rated highly with the ball, but I wouldn't mind seeing her having an over to bowl. And I think she's come on to bowl right now. So perfect. So yeah, I mean, maybe if required, Grace could bowl an over or two in front, but only if required.
Yeah, definitely. I echo Hari Prasad's sentiments there. Grace Harris is one of those bowlers who just has a knack of coming in and sort of making things happen, as they say. She got 2 big wickets, I think, in the UP game. And actually, in that post match, I think Smriti did say that she regrets not bowling Grace in the Mumbai game that happened before that. Maybe to try and get when Siver and Siver Brunt and Haley were going quite well. So yeah, I think definitely she's someone who can just sort of maybe give you a breakthrough here or there. But I echo Hari Prasad's sentiments. Just watch the matchups. You don't want her sort of like you don't want to sort of just bowl her just for the sake of bowling her. You want to sort of make sure that conditions and the matchups necessitate that. So, and yeah, good shot from Jemmy, but no four. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think so far, guys, like whatever predictions you've made or whatever you wanted to happen has happened, right? Because Radha Yadav has been introduced into the bowling attack side of things. I know it's like halfway through her over so far. It's been that sort of a good start. She's bowled well itself. But again, like just talking about how Delhi, right, are going to largely depend on Laura Wolfart and Jemimah Rodrigues, right, to sort of sail them through. Because getting the big wicket of Shefali Verma and Lizelle was like great stuff. But again, just let's look at this partnership itself, right? Darshan, we can probably start off with you on this one. Like, just the partnership with Jemmy and Laura, very crucial for their prospects tonight. That's a 4.
I think so. So, like I said before, this is the surfaces in Vadodara have so far been such that they tend to reward batters who can sort of, just as said that Jimmy hits a 4, who can sort of get set and then accelerate later on. And Delhi have been given a very good start by Laura and by Lizelle and Shefali there. So they've got runs on the board. So these two can sort of afford to sort of get themselves in a little bit more comfortably and then accelerate later on. And like Hari Prasad mentioned at the beginning, RCB have struggled a bit with taking wickets through the middle. So that's something that they will also be aware of. So yeah, I think this will be a very crucial partnership because to come, Cap has had a very difficult time with the bat. Chanel Henry also not quite there yet since the first game, so they will also be mindful of that perhaps moving forward. So, but this is definitely going to be a very key partnership, and RCB would love nothing more than a wicket here. So,
yeah, at this stage, they definitely not complain, getting a wicket. And Hari Prasad, quickly, you want to chime in here about Laura and Jemmy, how important this partnership is going to be?
I think more than the partnership, getting Jemmy out would be more important over here. I think she's been like really phenomenal with the bat, like I mentioned before, and her wicket would be crucial here because she's someone who can take the match away from you like out of nowhere. I mean, it might be going in RCB's favor, and then she comes in and plays that blistering knock as she is known to play for, and take the match away. So, yeah, I mean, the partnership will be crucial, but I'd still be even more like at peace if Jemmy's wicket is taken by RCB much faster.
Yeah, because just that boundary itself, right? The fourth ball off that over, I think Pranav sums it up really well. That cover drive itself was just so incredible. You have three fielders chasing it, and Jemimah Rodrigues has absolutely timed it so beautifully. Anu Nobody also going on to add that Greece's accuracy experience will help to choke, those middle overs with Nadine. Hopefully, we see the introduction of Grace Harris come in because right now, Delhi Capitals, 83 for 2 at the end of 9 overs, have the potential to, go big. And this ninth over has yielded them those 9 runs. Naman again goes on to say that they have a good start, but the death overs woes, from the previous game might be playing on Jenny and Laura's minds. They gave away 100 in the back end, those 10 overs against Gujarat Giants. So yeah, I think that is something a valid observation there, so to say. But yeah, guys, right now I think again, Hari Prasad giving us the warning early on itself that Delhi is looking like they might go for a big total, could potentially come to, even though they're 2 wickets down, they still have a lot of batting left. And I think it's fair to say, right, Delhi has largely depended on this like opening four set of batters to, okay, like their four top order batters to get them those starts. Again, is this like a concern, so to say? Hari Prasad, let's probably start off with you on this one of how Delhi has depended largely on this quartet, so to say, to do the bulk of run scoring for them.
Yeah, like Darshan mentioned, I think Cap and Chanel Henry haven't had the best of seasons with the bat, previously. So I think they'd be looking to capitalize that this time around. Uh, reason being that it's a final and they've got both their openers gone, and if a wicket falls, like if either of Laura or Jemmy goes out, and they'd have to come in and step up. So having said that, I think they'd be looking forward to getting a good score this time around in this game, basically.
And Darshan, again, quickly want to add here how Delhi will largely again depend on this duo. And again, their quartet has done the bulk of run scoring this season.
Yeah, definitely. It's and to be fair, they're a very good quartet, not unlike what Mumbai have up top sometimes in seasons past. But yeah, I think one thing they would really love today potentially is a few runs from Chanel Henry or Cap, just because it would give them that little bit of extra sort of push thrust towards the back end. Because otherwise, they could end up in a situation right now here where you've got Shafali and Jemmy out here quite early. If one of them falls, then you might have a bit of they might give RCB room to sort of squeeze a bit harder and maybe trigger something of a collapse. So they need to be a bit careful there.
Yeah, I think right
And
now
you know,
RCB
just
is.
to add on, I'm not going to count Snehrana out either. I mean, after what she did last season, you never know. There might be there might be a cameo out there where she goes out and hits big. So I'm not going to count Snehrana out either.
Yeah, incidentally,
You were speaking of
playing.
replacement players. Snehrana actually was one as well for RCB. Yeah, she was.
Exactly,
That's
incidentally
true.
playing
That's
for
true.
RCB itself and doing that well. Naman did ask us this question during the timeout, but I think we were just talking so much then. Like while we have a timeout, let's probably do a reflection on how RCB have managed to fill the gap left due to Perry's unfortunate unavailability. I think it's something we spoke about earlier in our conversation. But guys, again, as ardent RCB fans, the moment you read this piece of news, the first thought that came to mind was, I hope this is fake news. This cannot be happening because RCB did go all out, right, on that retention itself and losing a player. Okay, Jenny plays an amazing cover drive there. Oh my God, that is a good fielding effort by Shriyanka there in the deep. But yeah, I think it's just one of those days. Hopefully, it isn't anything serious. Yeah, Shriyanka seems to be rubbing her head. Hopefully, not a concussion. We don't need that last thing. Okay, this is just me panicking on the stream. But yeah, that is the boundary, guys. But I completely forgot the question I was asking. Yeah, about Perry's unavailability itself. Like, what did you guys make of it? Like, the first time you read it, were you like, oh, hope this is fake news? This can't be happening. RCB went all out for her retention. But I mean, sometimes it is the case, right? Like, she kind of prioritized being closer to home, playing the Super Smash itself. Darshan, let's start off with you on this one. Again, not speculating on the reasons why she didn't make it, but what her absence meant and the void itself created.
Yeah, it was a huge void, and to be as an RCB fan, like you've seen so many things happen. Like last season, we had all these injuries to Sophie Molyneux, Divine, all pulling out. So it sort of felt like, oh, here's one more in that way. But Yeah, it definitely was a big hit from a cricketing from the squad point of view, because she is like one of the things that I had envisioned sort of was you have these three hitters. You have Grace Harris, you have Nadine de Klerk, you have Richa Ghosh, and then you have even Smriti can sort of really go hard when she wants to. So having Pez as that fulcrum would have been really, really useful for RCB, just to sort of have her bat through. And you can kind of see that where that they still do kind of miss that a little bit, because Georgia Ball hasn't quite been able to adapt to that. Hemalata, who's there before her, has not all quite been able to do that. I think the other batters have just been so good that they've been able to collectively fill that void. So Rich has stepped up, Smriti stepped up, Grace Harris has single-handedly won us 2 games against UP. So I think definitely it's they have all sort of chipped in together to fill that gap. But again, just if we had a Perry there, you could just imagine how much more strong this batting would be. So, but yeah, huge credit to RCB for managing to get that through. Yeah, and yeah, so they've come this far as a big effort.
Yeah, and I think midway, I think you'll probably see all of us go and all of that because of how amazing Nadine de Klerk has been, right? Just a slower ball. She's like, the scramble seam, just doing amazing, amazing stuff. Absolutely bamboozling Jemimah Rodrigues there. But Hariprasad, again, your thoughts on Ellis Perry's absence itself and how RCB has still managed to, sort of make it through. That's a boundary meanwhile.
Yeah, boundary there. But yeah, I mean, coming back to the question, it was a little disappointing. I'm sure she had her reasons for not coming, and I completely respect that. But after the auction, then after having had bought the players that you needed, and then you see like Perry's not playing, it just come. You just start thinking like, what if this happened before the auction? I mean, as fans, we think that, but I'm sure as players, they have their own reasons, and we need to completely respect that at the end of the day. I know I did mention about Lauren Bell ruling herself out just before the WPL starting in the second season, and the same sentiment I could tell here with respect to Perry as well, irrespective of the great stature of a player that she is. But it's still disappointing that you rule yourself out just like a few days before the season starts. But coming to the point about how RCB have tried to replace her, I mean, it's never easy to replace a player like Perry. I think they tried first Dylan Hemalata and that didn't work out. And then Georgia Wall came in. I think she's blown hot and cold. And it's not the Georgia Wall that we know, who's a very destructive player. And it's not even in a position that she's comfortable in. Her being an opener playing at number 3 right now, it's not her position at all. And yeah, I mean, she has found it a little difficult to adapt to it. I don't see her being the usual free flowing wall that she is known to be. So, new position for her. So, I think, yeah, I mean, replacing Perry has not been very easy for RCB, but I think still they've managed to come around well with that. I mean, they've excelled in other departments, and with Grace and Smriti being that opening partnership that they have been delivering. So, having said that, yeah, I mean, tough shoes to fill, but I think RCB have come around pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Eddie Perry was there, it would have been such a bonus in addition to that batting itself, right? I think the batting would literally just center around her. She could probably anchor, take her time. The rest of the batters could just go, all guns blazing, and the whole confusion of having like Georgia Wall come in, Dylan Hemlata was tried around there for a bit, Gautami too, right? All of those experiments would probably come to an end. And again, I think we probably missed saying this, but like at the halfway mark, Delhi was 94 for 2. They seem to be, marching on. Arundhati trying to keep things in control. And it's fair to say, right, that DC has had a good start as we did get those wickets off the dangerous Shefali Verma and, Lizelli, but then Delhi clearly clawing their way back in. And guys, I think as we were just watching and like discussing itself, the broadcast showed like a bunch of shots, right, that Jamie has been playing really well. I mean, let's talk about her season itself, right? The additional responsibility of being appointed as captain, it just weighs down. It weighs down a lot of players. But again, Jenny has managed to, stay true to herself. Her batting hasn't taken that much of an impact. Darshan, again, let's start off with you on this one. Just what have you made of Jenny, the batter? And again, the repertoire of shots she has just makes her such a bonus and an asset, right, to any T20 side.
Oh, for sure. She's an absolutely key cog both for India and for in this team as well. The way that she's come back in the last couple of games when Delhi probably desperately needed those wins, I think that is a true mark of a leader. and someone who really can, like, sort of, who gets going when things get tough, like she did against Australia in the World Cup as well. And she did say also that she stopped putting as much pressure on herself ahead of the last couple of games, and that's what sort of helped her free herself up. And I think that kind of shows. I remember in that RCB game, the first one in Mumbai, she was trying a few too many things up front, which eventually she got out. And I felt a little bit. I was kind of like, what are you doing here? But after that, I think she's really calmed down. She sort of found her way to get through, and yeah, like the results are showing now. Like, look at the way she came. She was the pivotal in the win against Gujarat. She played a good hand against UP. She sort of steered them home when nobody else in the Delhi side was really finding the middle of the bat. So yeah, fantastic from her. And full marks. I think she's done really well here. And if Delhi win, which I hope they don't, she deserves to win. So.
Yeah, Darshan, quickly giving a clarification that I hope they don't, but then, we'd probably get to see a good knock coming in either way, because just as we say this, another four there, Jemimah Rodrigues is just, looking like in that peak form that we did get to see of her during the World Cup. Hari Prasad, let's get your quick thoughts on that itself, right? How Jemmy sort of reinvented herself as a T20 batter, and the results are there for everyone to see, right?
Once we got to know that Meg won't be returning to DC when she was picked by UP Warriors, and I think a lot of chatter around who should be the next captain for Delhi, and in my mind, it was like Jemmy without a doubt. And I mean, this, and I thought about this despite having Laura Wolwart in the team, who had just led her national team to the finals of the World Cup. Despite that, I just felt that Jemmy was ready to lead. I'm sure she's done that before as well in the domestic, if I'm not wrong. So, having said that, I think Jemmy was the right person to lead, and I think she's taken that really well. Another four, like you, like I just say that. So, yeah, I mean, I mentioned this before as well. She is the crucial wicket that RCB required today. Otherwise, she can just take the game away from you like she is doing right now. So, having said that, I think Jemmy's been phenomenal this whole tournament. I mean, as a captain and as a batter as well. And she's just showing that today as well.
Yeah, I mean, considering the start that Delhi Capitals had to this campaign, it was very easy to, write them off and be like, yeah, like Meg Lanning's gone, and like, what could you possibly expect from this very young unit? But the way Jemmy has like marshaled the troops, optimized resources, right, has been quite impressive in that sense. And Pranav's point also really makes sense here, that I think the right length has been found by RCB for the pitch and boundary size, but modern day batters will find every gap and six, right? I think Jemmy's range of shots clearly shows that, because we see another boundary, being, just for the taking in this case, Jemmy just getting on top of Shriyanka, literally toying with her at the moment as we speak. I think at this point, RCB fans will be just hoping for this over to get over, because Jemimah Rodrigues, 33 not out of just 19 balls, has already hit 6 fours. Like, so many of her runs have just come from boundaries. Ominous signs, guys. And this is looking like really big. I think ESPN's live forecast itself is predicting a 188, 190, so to say. Yeah, Naman, agree with you. This is definitely your testing phase for, like, skipper Smriti. Again, Darshan, like, just talk to us about Smriti's captaincy, right? I mean, there's only so much you can do when your bowlers are getting tonged for runs, but then you have on one end Jemmy, the captain, who's constantly going to the ears of the bowlers, talking to them and like doing this and that. Smriti sort of gives her space. Like which philosophy of captaincy do you like more?
I think it depends on the bowler. The Shreyanka is someone who's got a little bit of experience, so maybe. And I did still see Smriti talking to her a bit, so not the end of the world. But when a bowler is maybe, when they look more distressed, maybe it's a good time to have an arm around them and sort of keep an eye. Especially if they're a younger bowler who's maybe not used to the stage, that's a good time to do that. But if they're maybe someone more experienced, who's got sort of knows what they're doing, sort of has been in these situations before, then maybe it's not a bit. You don't necessarily have to be on top of them all the time. Sometimes it also varies person to person. Like, some people like their space, some people like to have someone to bounce things off of. I've not always been a huge fan of the sort of the tactical calls Smriti has taken. Sometimes I found them to be a little bit lacking. This year she's looked a little bit better. Last year I was a little bit disillusioned with some of her field placements, for example. But this year she's looked a little bit more on point. Some of the bowling changes maybe could have been a little bit better, like we spoke previously. Maybe bringing Nadine de Klerk directly after the power play instead of Shreyanka, things like that. Maybe could be a tiny bit better using Grace Harris, things like that. But still, I think there's more to leadership than just tactics, right? And I think she does a lot of those things really well. I think everyone who's been in a dressing room with her speaks of how she's a very nice person. She's a great person to who sort of keeps a very chill environment, things like that. And these are underrated things that we don't see sort of on the field, but definitely contribute to creating a good team atmosphere. And I think she's done very well with that. So I have yeah. So it's from the tactics point of view, yeah, could be a bit better though. So hopefully she improves with that.
Yeah, agree with you on that. I think there's a lot of aspects of her captaincy that definitely, goes under the radar. And because of RCB's, fluctuating performances and a lot of ups and downs, it just comes under scrutiny and criticism a lot more. Hari Prasad, again, over to you on just Smriti's captaincy itself and like what have you made of it, not just in this season, but across like all the editions of the WPL?
I might get flack for this, but I'm not that big a fan of Smriti's captaincy from the start. Uh, I I mean she's up there for sure, and like Darshan mentioned, I think she's been much better this season. But like overall, I think she can do much better. And I think she's there for our bowlers for sure. And then she's got a lot of influence in the RCB lineup as well. Like with the reports having brought the coach in, and then a lot of players as well that she's vouched for. So having said that, like Darshan mentioned, there is a lot more to just field placement and stuff. But I think on the field, I would say Smriti is not the best captain for me on that front. I think she can do a lot much better than what she's doing right now.
Yeah, valid point, and I hope Smriti, just keeps getting better as a captain as the seasons progress too, right? Because she is being earmarked as a potential successor for Harman, from an India POV as well. Again, a conversation for another day. But so far, I think Arundhati has been bowling really well, guys. Has not given away a boundary. I hope that doesn't change. Yeah, yeah, that won't change. But I think it's been a great over from Arundhati too, just not giving away a lot of runs there. But yeah, Nikhil goes on to say, "This is so cool and way to go, guys. Thank you so much. We intend to do a lot of like watch-alongs, hopefully even for the IPL and the men's T20 World Cup as well. Very kind of you to say, never on the back foot, fan army represent. Hopefully the army only grows in size. Naman goes on to say that 190 should be the minimum DC should target here onwards. Got to account for the clutch finish RCB can get from Richa and Nadine. At this point, I think Delhi will just take any runs that comes from probably the 180 run mark, right? Because that's where things get really tricky. It's a proper knockout match. Like a lot of things can go south. And RCB's batting, I wouldn't call it deficiencies, but like the ups and downs they see there could is something that will have to be taken into account as well. But yeah, guys, right now the score is 124-2 at the end of 13 overs. A very healthy, run rate of 9.23. Delhi will be looking to accelerate. Again, interested to see like who comes in. I'm guessing probably Radha might get this over if they want to like slow things down. But yeah, guys, like how's it looking? Like how you feeling right now? A little bit of nerves coming in. I know this is like going to be a big total to chase, but Darshan, again, let's start off with you. We can probably see the nerves more on you there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the one good thing I'll say is the pitch looks pretty good for batting, and I don't know to what extent we'll see dew in the evening, but if that happens, then that will help RCB. So that's one positive I take from this. But at the same time, yeah, I would prefer not to be. Right now I think Delhi are poised for maybe 190, and I would prefer to be chasing a little bit less than that. So let's see how they come back. Right now, Jemmy is looking on a different plane right now, so she's just, yeah, she's just going all out. Don't you call it boundary there of Radha? But yeah, but if RCB can peg back with some wickets, I think that could be a way back in this game. So I think this might be a time where she brings in a Grace Harris or someone to try and snag one or two wickets. But let's see. Yeah, but but as an RCB fan, I'm a little bit nervous now. But I still think I don't feel like we've lost just yet. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to press the panic button. It's just about getting those wickets, and hopefully, Radha can probably stem the flow of runs, if not get those wickets. But again, Hari Prasad, like right now, Delhi looks like they are in a comfortable position. Just feeling the nerves and the anxiety a little bit.
A lot of nerves, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, I think the middle phase for RCB has always been disappointing, where they do not pick a lot of wickets. I would recommend bringing Lauren Bill in to finish her quota and probably get a wicket here if possible. But yeah, I mean, just want that one wicket to come in as soon as possible. So yeah, like Naman mentioned, would love to have Lauren Bell come and finish her quota of overs. I think she can induce a wicket from here onwards.
Yeah, and for the uninitiated, Naman and Hari Prasad are like, I think, two sides of the same coin. Some of their perspectives are like pretty much the same, right? They just think on the similar lines. I'm not entirely shocked that Hari Prasad
I
would
was
take
literally
that.
thinking that.
Yeah, and again, that's like, what do you think, right? Like, do you think the suggestion is valid? Just bring in Lauren Bell and see, what could potentially be the outcome. Like a few wickets here could really help.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't mind that particularly either. I would be tempted to just try and over Grace Harris just to see what happens. But yeah, I could definitely see the value of, because I feel like having that over of Lauren Bell is very useful to say for Chanel Henry. Um, just if you can keep it as long as you can. But I think if they don't get a wicket in the next over, I would probably turn back to Lauren Bell immediately. Um, but yeah, just to try and make something happen there. But they do still have a few overs of Nadine de Klerk left, so I'm not sure. I would also consider bringing her on for one, try and force a wicket through there somewhere. Maybe they're saving her for the last four. But yeah, let's see. But the key is, I think this is the partnership that RCB have to break. Because if they break this, I think there are more openings to come. So, but yeah, I would definitely be on board. I would maybe probably try an over of Grace or Nadine de Klerk, and then I would probably try Lauren Bell for the over after that. Is just my take.
Yeah, I mean, I was exactly thinking that they're probably saving Nadine de Klerk for later, just see off some of these tough overs there. And Syed, again, perfectly going on to point that a good partnership is developing between Jemmy and Laura Wolfart. Let's just see where this takes them, right? Because again, just the partnership, I wanted numbers on that. Yeah, it's already like 57 of just 39 balls. And we know, you just give them more time, it's going to blossom into something even more complicated, because even though they're not hitting boundaries, there's like a lot of singles and doubles that's being taken. And just as we say, this Nadine de Klerk is introduced into the attack. Uh, but yeah, guys, right now 134 2. And it is still the 14 overs mark. Pranav going on to be like, yeah, guys, don't worry. 9 runs is a good over in T20 nowadays.
I was literally
Yeah.
thinking that actually. I mean, nine isn't too bad considering how these two are going on at the moment.
Exactly. And considering how people don't rate Radha Yadav, the bowler, you can actually stem the flow of runs. This is still good signs, like not to press the panic button as much. I think the more I say this, it's just to like assure everyone that, guys, it's okay. We got this. RCB will pull off, what is looking like it's going to be a mountain hill of run chase as well. But I think the broadcast itself right now is showing the purple cap leaderboard. Nadine de Klerk there sits comfortably at 16 wickets. Guys, prediction time. Do you think Nadine de Klerk has the potential to sort of pip Sophie Devine and sort of like overtake her in that leaderboard? Let's start off with Darshan in this one.
I think it could happen. There is a possibility, like especially if RSP get a wicket in the next over or so, that maybe she can get two or three in the back end, and maybe that'll just take her ahead. But don't forget, Nandini Sharma is also on that list, who's due to bowl in the next innings, and she's been getting wickets left, right, and centre. So there's every chance she could also come up. So yeah, this Sophie Devine's purple cap is very much in danger today from both sides. But I hope Nadine is the one to get there. I think it would be a fitting reward for how well she's bowled this season. Yeah. So, but yeah, I would definitely not be surprised if she can grab another one or two here at the back end.
Yeah, it would definitely help RCB's cause as well. And Hariprasad, again, over to you. Think Nadine has the sum in the bank that she can definitely pocket today?
Provided this partnership is broken, like Darshan mentioned, I think she can try to clean the tail out in the death overs, provided she'll have like 50 from Jemmy. That's nice. But yeah, coming back to the topic, I think she can clean the death or like the tail out if possible. I think she has the potential to do that. So maybe yes, possible, but can't count Nandini Sharma out either. I think she'd be raring to go as well. Come at the next innings. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Divine's purple cap might be looking in danger, but
Yeah, I mean,
just
just as we talk, 50 up for Jemimah Rodrigues as well. And Laura Wolfart hitting such a beautiful six,
I
right? I
knew
mean,
this was coming.
yeah.
Seriously.
But again, guys, I think as the moment, as opponents too, we can always, just clap because Jenny has
That's true.
played that sort of a knock today. 32 ball, 50, great stuff. Again, RCB, please get the wicket. We love to see Jenny score runs, but again, not at the cost of, RCB leaking a lot of those. Naman, again, cheekily going on to add that now won't be a bad time to pick, Pip Divine. If so, like, let's hope, like Nadine de Klerk can get some wickets. Pranav goes on to make his claim here that I'd like Sophie Devine to win her, win just for her amazing last over finishes with the ball. Fair point, right? I mean, although with the bat, she's had that sort of an up and down season, at least with the ball, right, has been doing a lot of talk, has the ball has been doing a lot of talking for her, which is great signs. But yeah, guys, right now, 15 overs, 140 for two. It's looking like it's going to be a big total. Jemmy starts off the over with a four itself. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of panic that's setting in the RCB camp and in our panelists and this room itself. Oof, what are we looking at right now? Guys, over to you, Darshan. What's running in your mind right now?
Yeah, they seem to be trying to push Jemmy leg side quite a bit, like Sayali sliding leg side. Nadine de Klerk was also, I think, trying that angle. I'm not entirely sure what they're trying, but yeah, let's see. But Sayali was the one who got Jemmy out in that first game, so hopefully she can come back here. I did see in that Delhi game she did try a Yorker a few times that I think went quite well. I'm curious to see if she goes back to that here. But I have a feeling she's just going to try and pepper on the leg side because they've got the three deep fielders there. Okay, that's much better. But yeah, it should be it. Again, I would not quite set the panic bells off, but because even something like 190, I think RCB can chase. We saw how close they got against Mumbai Indians. So as long as they are sensible in the power play in the next innings, they don't give Cap too many wickets. If Grace Harris can get going, I think we're in for a really good chase. But yeah, I would ideally not want to chase too much above 190 if we can avoid it.
Yeah, a chase above 190 is going to be quite nightmarish, right? For us fans to just, have our BP go up the roof every single time because the asking rate is just going to be insane in that regard. But again, Hari Prasad, like what's running in your mind right now? We have unknown nobody saying that RCB are getting some of their tactics wrong. Like, do you sort of agree with that? Like, have the bowling changes not inspired a lot of confidence for you right now?
Maybe giving that second over to Shreyanka was a mistake. I mean, you have two right-hand batters in the crease, and you go on to give an off spinner. More or less, that's going to turn out bad, and that's what happened as well. Shreyanka was taken to the cleaners. So yeah, I mean, can do better. The first ball from Sayali was a horrible one. I think down the leg that any set batter is going to take you to the cleaners. I think since then, I think she's come back strong. Hopefully, she keeps that going. But yeah, I mean, gotta keep it tight from here. I mean, we're reaching the death overs phase right now, so can't afford for any slip ups like the first ball that she bowled.
Yeah, definitely valid point. RCB cannot afford any slip ups, and the fielding I think so far, guys, Touchwood has been good, right? Because again, the moment I say this, we don't want to see like a few misfields happening there. Again, Shrajan, giving us a friend of the podcast here, just giving us a tip that balls and bounces to Gem, possibly that could get her in trouble. But this way, the way she's just middling the ball, you could probably see her, just pull that across for boundary as well. But guys, almost as we reach that mark where there's just like 4 overs left in this innings, Naman goes on to say, should go with this for the last four. Have Nadine de Klerk. Wow, that's finally a wicket, guys. Let's go. Jemimah Rodrigues dismissed. Please tell me that's not a no ball. Yeah, that's not a no ball. Yeah, cool. That's a wicket. Let's go. The last four, Naman thinks should be Nadine de Klerk, Lauren Bell, Arundhati Reddy, and Saili Sadgare. Agree, disagree? Let's start off with Darshan himself. We see a bright smile on his face as a wicket falls. But again, just let's have your thoughts.
Just a little bit unrelated first. I love how you said not a no ball, just because we've seen so many things as RCB fans. You just never know. But yeah, I think that's a fairly good plan. Nadine Bell just trying to put pressure on Delhi up front, and then have Reddy and Sayali finish it up. Sayali has again. She's bowled up. I like that she's gone back to trying that Yorker here, that fuller leg that's worked for her well. So I hope she can nail that a bit more in the back phase of this innings. Yeah, I think that's a very good plan. The last 4 overs. I would even start with Bell up front and then do Nadine for the one after that. So both is fine. I'd say.
And Hari Prasad, again, your thoughts on the last four? I think right now we have a strategic timeout anyway, so you can talk your heart about this, last four bowling strategy for RCB.
I think I'd bring Nadine in the 19th over, I guess. or one of Bell or Nadine in the 19th over. I'd like to have it like probably Sally ending of the innings. Yes, that's fair, but I'd I mean, yeah, it makes sense because now that Jemmy is out, I think you can get one of Nadine or Bell to bowl the 19th over, and then get Arundhati to bowl one of the next overs or the one after that.
Yeah, will be interesting what strategy RCB does end up opting for, because you finally see some energy in the camp, right? Like 3 wickets down, a big wicket in Jemmy Rodrigues. We know the ugly underbelly, so to say, of Delhi Capitals, and their batting has time and again been exposed. So hopefully this match, you would sort of hope that. I think we have some agreement in the live chat as well that Nadine and Bell should probably bowl overs 19 and 20, because sometimes you don't want to like leak a lot of runs in those last two. Pranab goes on to say, that's the ball you want a wicket for, huh? I don't know, man. Sometimes, you just take what's there. And Jemmy was trying to like smash it, but then there was a fielder right there. But yeah, Delhi looking quite comfortable, 148 for 3 at the end of 16 overs. So far, we've spoken our hearts out for 1 hour 35 minutes. So if you've stuck around, guys, if you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel. Follow Hari Prasad and Darshan on Twitter as well. We'll make sure to link those in our comments. They tweet out some good stuff, or like post stuff on X. So please do check that out. We still have a very exciting run chase that's coming up. I know there's 4 overs left. A lot of RCB fans are a little worried, but like we'll probably still see something happening. Oh, hi Tushar. Nice to see you in the stream. He goes on to say Shriyanka Patil has been so poor in the last couple of games. Going for runs is fine, but not learning at all is not. Trying too much, bowling short and full at times. Tushar, I think we did talk about this a little earlier in our conversation, but I know it's a lot of scrolling back to do. Again, agreement panel with this comment. We did talk about how she's gone for runs this time around, but has also been amongst the wickets. Darshan, again, like your perspective on this, and probably Hari can add on after that.
Yeah, she has been a bit more wayward. Actually, we were having a conversation in the group chat. Jeet, another friend of ours, he was saying that maybe she's trying too many variations, just trying to maybe overthink a bit. Um, and yeah, maybe she could probably just try and bowl more like stump to stump, because Sri Lanka does have a very good Yorker. That's actually how she got Jemmy out in a similar fixture in 2024. She bowled a really good Yorker from round the wicket. Maybe that's something she can try a bit more. Just try and attack the stumps. Try not to think about which way you're going to turn it, whatever variations. Because she is a very wicket-taking bowler. We've seen that this tournament itself. She does create a lot of opportunities. Today, I think the matchup she was given was also not ideal. I think coming on to Lizelle in that sort of form was not great. And even today with Jemmy was hitting everybody. But yeah, I think she could definitely maybe just come up with just work on that a bit more. Yeah, maybe try. I think she might maybe just try just keeping it stump to stump, some things like that. But yeah, it's not been great from her today. Even in the last game, I thought she bowled a couple of poor balls that didn't get hit, that UP didn't quite capitalize on. But yeah, I think she's only. I hope she can only get better from here on out, because she is quite an introspective player. I think she will come back stronger.
Yeah, fingers crossed Priyanka is able to make a comeback. And as we are talking, Lauren Bell bowls a very, I don't know, like very unlike her wide. Again, let's not get worried there. But I think I'll direct this one to Hari Prasad itself, because we have to talk about Chanel Henry, right? I think, again, a lot of people have just been left very divided by her inclusion in the playing 11. They're like, why? How can you have Alana King, warm the bench, and you're including Chanel Henry? But to her credit, although she's had like very mixed returns with the bat, at least with the ball, she's been doing the talking. Hari Prasad, do you think this is the moment for her to shine and sort of ensure her team, gets past a very, very comfortable score and actually have her bat do the talking, so to say?
I think Henry loves playing against RCB. I think we did see that last season as well. Don't think she's done much against us this time around, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfect opportunity for her. I think she's one of the best hard hitters going around in this tournament. So having said that, I think it's a perfect opportunity for her to probably launch some sixes here and there. But I think Lauren Bell's bowling really well to ensure that does not happen. So kudos to her. But yeah, I mean, I think I did mention it this before as well. I think I did want Henry to play for RCB and was pretty gutted that we missed out on her. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Henry could have a really good innings here as well, provided the RCB bowler stopper. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like a perfect entry point for her too, right? To make that impact. So let's see how that happens. And even the matchup, right, versus Lauren Bell. Naman clearly going on to say, I'm sniffing a wicket here. Hopefully, Lauren Bell can do that. Pranav says the 187 is something he predicts. And I think it is similar to what were also looking at, right? The 180, 190 mark is something RCB would really dread, but it's kind of looking like that. Yeah, Lauren Bell not giving away a boundary so far in this over. Unknown Nobody also goes on to say, actually, Shriyanka is trying hard for wickets than stem, the flow of runs. The momentum was with DC when she came to bowl. She is not that great against, right-hand batters. I did get Darshan's perspective on Shriyanka. Hari Prasad, I'll probably direct this comment slash question to you itself. Like, do you agree with the sentiment that Shriyanka, again, has not been that great against right-hand batters, has probably not stemmed the flow of runs as much as we would have probably liked her, even though she's not amongst wickets? Oops, yeah, I think Hari Prasad was on mute there. Yeah.
Sorry for that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the the famed matchup does suggest that an off spinner would predict to bowl to a right hand batter. More or less, the ball turning into you, I think it will be difficult. And I think Shreyanka is pretty young, and she'll only get better with time on that front. And also having come from an injury and not having played a lot of cricket for the last 1 year, I think that can be hard for you as well. And coming into such a dynamic tournament like the WPL does put a lot of pressure on you if you're a player who's coming after such a long injury layout. So, having said that, I think, yeah, I mean, it's not been great for her this season, but I think it's just going to get better in the coming seasons.
Yeah, I think as the eternal optimists that we are, we will sort of hope for that to happen, right? Because 2024 season, if any, like the way it started for her, the way she pulled things back, right, in style, goes to show the kind of player she is. But again, a spate of injuries have meant a lot of difficult things for her. Pranav also goes on to say that I think Shriyanka is really good when there's a bit more turn in the wicket. The angle is like hard to attack, which is a fair point, and that's probably resulted in batters not being able to pick her line and length. The runs getting restricted there for the batters itself. Also goes on to say, I think it looks like a slow pitch, not an expert, but it looks like it's hard to hit the medium and fast pacers now. Yeah, I think like Lauren Bell again didn't give away any boundaries in that last over, just a very miserly over, giving away 6 runs. Right now, they're taking a bit of time to even pick on Arundhati itself. Yeah, I think the RCB fans clearly won't complain, if the pitch does slow down. But hopefully, it's not the trend when RCB comes to bat because you're going to need those boundaries. We're looking at a total that's going to be probably in excess of 175, 180. Yeah. But yeah, guys, so far things are looking good for DC, right? 157 for 3, 17.3 overs, ominous signs of a big total. Last 5 overs, again, the death overs is where, sometimes teams tend to end up leaking a lot of runs. But again, overall, guys, this season itself, like, what have you made of RCB and their bowling itself in death overs? Like, have you been happy with some of the combinations they've mixed and matched? Let's probably start off with Darshan on this one, and Hari can add on here.
Yeah, I think they've been pretty okay. I thought, like, looking at this bowling lineup coming into the season, I was a little bit concerned. But the way they've come good, like, the way they've sort of struck their lines has been really good. Nadine de Klerk, who we've spoken about, has been huge for that. She's been very accurate at the death throughout wherever she's been asked to bowl by Smriti. Lauren Bell, like we spoke about, her variations were also great. So yeah, they've been coming good pretty well. At the back end, actually, even they've been a little bit worse perhaps at the back end than in other parts. But I think because of how much damage they've done up front in the power play, it's not often mattered. So teams have not been able to recuperate quite as much at the death as they might have to stay competitive. So great work from RCB on that front. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that plays out. How that plays out today. Arundhati started quite well so far. Hope I don't jinx that. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out today.
And just as Darshan says that, Arundhati gets stalked for a 6 by Laura Mulford, who's looking quiet there. Again, I don't know why anything we say is just, like jinx, whatever is happening there. But I don't know, man, fun times. Hari Prasad, again, quickly want to add here about RCB's death bowling plans and how across some matches it kind of sort of didn't work out. And the dependence on Bell has been there to see for all of us.
I agree with Darshan completely. I mean, having bowled really well in the power play, I think it does not come into notice a lot. And even the fact that I've kept been mentioning that even in the middle overs, I think they do not restrict the run flow, and that does show up in the death, because you have your set batters batting in the death overs, and they just end up going like they just end up hitting the ball around. So having said that, I think a lot of it comes to the middle overs where you don't pick your wickets at the correct intervals, and then you just go on to have at least one or even two set batters batting in the death overs. Right now, you see you have Laura Woolward playing right now. Henry just got a four, but yeah, like you have Laura Woolward who's already set. I mean, 38 of 22 at the moment, and she's kind of set over here, and she's only going to be looking to get a huge score from here, because you've got Cap and you've got Sneerana to come follow after that. So I mean, she's got nothing to lose from here. Just go hitting the ball around. So yeah, I mean, pretty disappointing. But a lot of it attributes to the way we've bowled in the middle overs, which has not been great. But just because we've started off the innings really well in the power play with Lauren Bell, Sally, and Lindsay Smith in the start bowling really well. So all these just does not come into factor.
Yeah, valid point. And I think tonight RCB's bowling is really going to be under pressure, has been under pressure so far, right? Just the number of boundaries being conceded. I think, again, a lot of Delhi being able to get past that 180 run mark will be heavily dependent on this duo, right, of Chanel Henry and Laura Wolfard. Because Marzan Cup, the batter, has just looked very off color this season. And it's a lot to ask of a young Nikki Prasad as well. So probably I will have to see that. I know there's still Sneh Rana, Minu Mani in that batting, but Naman, quickly going on to ask, that's got to be a no ball, right? I mean, the way the ball just sort of came out, but I think it's been given a wide there by the
It's still
umpire.
in the pitch, if I'm not wrong, even though it was outside the line, but it's still in the pitch. So I think it is wide. It's the right call that was given. Oh, good
Yeah.
shot.
Chanel Henry again looking like she's in the mood. She's really going to like tonk them. Nadine de Klerk trying the slower ones, trying to keep it slightly wide. But yeah, I think Chanel Henry, when she's in the kind of zone that she's in, we've seen enough of it as RCB fans, when she's playing for UP as well, how dangerous she can be in that regard. But yeah, guys, right now 177 for 3, not the ideal thing. Things not going according to script. Again, how are we feeling? Let's start off with Darshan. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I've yeah, not great, but actually Chanel Henry's actually not done a whole lot against RCB so far. It was against Delhi that she played some
Oh,
pretty
Delhi.
bad, pretty big knocks. I hope this is not. I hope that doesn't change tonight. But their plan has been okay to her. They've been taking it wide. I just think she's starting to pick it now. They've been a bit predictable. It would be nice if you tried like a short ball at her, maybe with your square leg back or something of the sort like that. Maybe that might be an interesting plan. Um, but yeah, I think I'm not feeling amazing, but I still think it's very salvageable. This pitch looks okay, so I feel like if they're able to again bat out Cap intelligently, um, there's still I think there's a we could chase some whatever. I think well we could chase whatever's on here, but I think we will be lucky to keep them under 200 from this stage.
Honestly, yeah, because we just see like, four boundaries being hit in a row. Nadine de Klerk versus Chanel Henry. This matchup clearly, not working out well. Again, let's not panic. But I see, Hari Prasad just like nod his head. Just talk us through your first emotions, right? Like, what is Nadine de Klerk like getting wrong? Is the line and length, not mixing it up, looking just very confused right now. Smriti, the captain, too.
I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty confused myself as well. Not bowling good at all. I mean, Nadine's lost her head here. I feel. I hope she comes back on the last ball, but it just not looking good at the moment. I think Henry has taken gotten the better of her at this over, and with that six, I think, yeah, I mean, would require a good last ball for Nadine to finish it, but yeah, not looking good right now. Henry's just is come into our element right now.
Yeah, and I think even the broadcaster just going on to say the Henry Hurricane, right? I think it's just about to be unleashed, and clearly, I think our live chat also getting all chatty there with its DC's night. Henry's all over RCB, the 4 consecutive 4s we see there. As if 4s were not enough, there had to be a 6 as well. Naman saying that bouncers out, it's not for Jenny. Probably they could have done that a little bit here. Unknown Nobody also says again tactics, wicket to wicket, hard length is enough, but then RCB is just erring a little bit there. and not looking great.
They had the right idea with the bouncer, but I think firstly the field was wrong. You needed to have someone sort of back there for it, and secondly, I think they might have been better served with a slightly wider bouncer. Try and make her sort of play away from the body, then you can catch an inside edge. I think that's how Kim Garth got her out in the when RCB played UP last year. So I think that's something they might have missed a bit of a trick with. Um, yeah, or because Lauren Bell was executing very well was sort of taking it wide. And to be fair, Nadine tried that. I think it just got a bit too predictable. Maybe they could have changed the length a bit. Maybe tried for a Yorker. So not Nadine de Klerk's finest over, but hopefully she is able to give some of it back in the next innings.
Yeah, and I think Unknown Nobody's comment also pretty much sums it up right now. This 20th over is looking very, very scary. Delhi 189 for 3. Ugh, you don't need whites to just add to the agony, but that's clearly what's happening. Hopefully, the three of us don't end up crying by the end of the stream because this is just getting very, very painful to watch. Pranav says bouncer would be okay, but with a bit of a longer boundary. Fair point. I hope at some point there is some like rethink about like boundary sizes in women's cricket. Again, not the subject of our discussion today, but valid point there. Sportsman says DC has just peaked commit the knockouts. Yeah, I mean, I've never had to go through the eliminator route, but this time around they did, and they just seem more, match ready than RCB. A point we were talking about off record as well. But right now, I think RCB is reviewing the wide ball. Like, what's happening, guys? That's what's happening, right?
I don't think that review was necessary, to be honest. I think it looked wide to me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Smriti, the captain, has not always been the smartest with her reviews.
Yeah, that's not even online, to be honest.
Yeah, it's unless if she took a step this way, I would get it. I don't know how the third umpire is going to interpret this, but it doesn't look like it looks like a white to me pretty much. So, but I don't know how the third umpire because she has taken. It looks like she's kind of taken a step towards sort of like off stump. I don't know how that's going to be interpreted, but it looks like a wide where I'm standing.
Guys, I'm so sorry I'm smiling at this part because Naman's comment just maybe someone's doing a Rishabh Pant here. So just do take the review, waste time, and try to stall the momentum. But honestly, I think it was just RCB trying to save runs. Cricket is at least T20 cricket is a game of margins. They wouldn't want a situation where a few runs sort of cost them that. If it is the same third umpire who takes ages, guys, this is going to take very long. The stream is going to go on for 5 hours. We're going to be here married to our chairs for way longer than expected. But yeah, they're going to like check this a lot more, I think.
Yeah, that third umpiring is actually a place where I think AI you could use some AI, like something that could just sort of flag different things. So it just reduces the number of things that the third umpire has to go through. So it's yeah, it's a weird thing. But,
Exactly. Here's where I think integration of AI could really make sense and make life simple. Like have the human interference, but like just make better use of it. But yeah, guys, Delhi is past that 190 run mark. I don't know where we are headed. 200 definitely looks on
Not if
course.
Sally keeps bowling those Yorkers. I mean, I think if she nails that, I think probably just less under 200. I think even in the last over, I think she kept it tight, and I hope she does that right now as well.
Yeah, and I think even in hindsight, Syed's comment really makes sense that Lauren Bell's both spells are just awesome, right? Like at the start and coming in later too. When you look at RCB's bowling card, it looks like Lauren Bell was bowling on another pitch itself. The rest of them, were doing it elsewhere, right? Just giving away 19 runs. The rest of them all going at like 10 and like above 9 run rate per over. I think in the context of Sairi itself, but in the case of the wide itself, but she's not beyond the other line next to the off stump. Again, not sure, Naman. Like, we aren't hearing the commentary and we just like saw the footage there a little bit. But Sairi trying to bowl wide there, gets clobbered there for a six by Chanel Henry, who's looking like she's in quite the mood to,
yeah,
hopefully
they're getting too predictable with that plan. Like it makes sense trying to take it wide to Chanel Henry, who sort of likes to swing it. But if you do the same thing every single time, like she'll pick it. Like she'll take one. That's exactly what she did. She took one step outside off stump and just clubbed it. So you can't be so predictable. Like you have to try a few different things.
Definitely, and that's where I think we see a lack of foresight, coming in there. The DC camp looking absolutely very happy. Jemimah Rodrigues celebrating there. Yeah, Naman going on to say there'll be a bid war between Google and OpenAI for sponsoring DRS in that case. I mean, yeah, for all that could really happen. Pranav says, yeah, just like, no, don't use AI. It's increasing delays in football, and you need a couple of years, lol, before it reaches that level itself. Naman, I can't believe you asked us this question on RCB stream. He's asking us, could Chanel Henry pull off a Ben cutting? For the uninitiated, he's talking about Ben cutting and the kind of damage that the man has inflicted on us. A reference to the 2016 IPL final itself. Hopefully, that is not the case. Wow. Laura Wolfart hits that for a beautiful boundary. It's impossible not to, just admire that, albeit coming against RCB itself. Naman, we know what you're doing there. We know you're talking about the 2016 trend, but yeah, at least not in this case. We wouldn't want that to happen. This is one thing we wouldn't want it to happen. Yeah.
But unlike 2016, RCB have a very good middle order, so we'll take that in stride. So
A lot of things looking eerily similar to that regard, but the DC camp is just really happy. Like right now, DC has crossed the 200 run mark, guys. 202 for 3. A quick word there. Laura Wolfart on strike, last ball of the over. It's already been quite the expensive over. I'm not sure where this is going. Hopefully, not a boundary. Okay, that's just a single. Will they try to push for a second there? Yeah, that's gone. Yeah. That's a run out, but still, guys, 203 for 4. Delhi would take this on any given day. I think it's a very commendable batting effort. Really got to doff your hat, even though we are in the opponent camp right now. Talking as RCB fans, but still a great effort. Again, let's have first reactions. Let's start off with Darshan itself. Your thoughts on DC's batting effort?
spectacular work. It's good to see Jemmy in that kind of flow. The way she maneuvered everything was really good, especially coming from a point where maybe it was a little. Again, she showed the value, just sort of like setting a tempo and then sort of batting through. So she never really let RCB get off the hook. Laura Wolfart as well did her job, staying till the end. I don't think her strike rate was ever below like 150. I think she was pretty much going hard right from the get go. So again, like um, like we predicted here, like like Hari Prasad predicted. She did do well after all, much to my chagrin. But so it was great stuff. But from an RCB point of view, I think I think they should still believe this is chaseable. They have chased 200 before, so again, the key is again just a good start up top. You can't do anything about the bowling effort now, but it does look a decent surface, so just go give it your best. There are power hitters there, so let's just see what happens. Try not to lose 4 in the power play. That'll be nice.
Yeah, Darshan, that would definitely be nice not to have, like half your batting back in the pavilion itself. But Hari Prasad, again, like fresh off the oven, like your thoughts on this, Delhi Capitals batting effort. You did predict it was going to be a big total, but 203 just, looks like a mountain hill of a chase, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, but like Darshan mentioned, I think it would be gettable from with the way RCB has been playing. I think it all comes down to to our opening partnership over here. I think if Grace and Smriti can get us off to a good start, I think we would be looking at a good chase over here. But I mean, I saw this coming, to be honest. All they had to do was capitalize on the power play, and I think they did do that when Liz Ali got that over against Sayali. I mean, I think that just set the tone for good, like a huge total over there. And Laura Wolwart, yes, I did see this coming too. She's a player who you can never keep out, even if she's in a form slump, and she's just shown that. Struck at around 170 plus overall, and never looked like she had a good low strike rate that Darshan mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, phenomenal batting display out there from Chinnan Henry as well. I think capitalized really well against Nadine de Klerk. Who's had a good season with the ball. Unfortunately, she did not cross the line, but yeah, it is what it is. So, I mean, yeah, a phenomenal display of batting by DC. But coming to RCB, the same old thing again. Not picking a lot of wickets in the power. I mean, in the middle overs, and that again just costed them. And I think we underestimate how vital Lauren Bell has been this whole season. Because if this has not been spoken about a lot, and we still ended up like and ended first in the table, just shows that how much she's contributed to the the bowling innings of RCB with all those dot balls that she's bowled. I think I think I mentioned this in the group chat earlier, but from the way she's been bowling and picking up those plants, I think a portion of Lalbagh should be given in the name of Lauren Bell over there. So yeah, I mean, jokes apart, but yeah, I mean, having said that, I think we can't we need to her uh, performance is going under the radar, even though it's being praised a lot.
Yeah, guys, all valid points there. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, just having a look at RCB's matches so far, the matches that they've chased, right? I mean, successful run chases, like, I can just think of the match versus Mumbai itself, right? Where they ended up conceding like a 199 and they lost by 15 runs, where they got to that 184. So they haven't had like that sort of a successful run chase where they've chased, like, say, a 180 or a 200 itself. Which is already sort of giving me the jitters, because I have a look at another stat, and that's like highest first inning totals in like WPL playoffs. DC has managed to put themselves in record books. They're at number two right now with this 203 for four. They're second in the list. The first being obviously, Mumbai doing, 213 now for four versus Gujarat. This is way back in the 2025 eliminator itself. But yeah, guys, I know the stats are stacked against RCB in this way, like the season two, right? Although we've seen those wins coming in, it's largely been because of the bowlers itself. Only time will say, if their batting can also sort of help them chase this, mountain hill of a total. Let's take a few comments here in our live chat. Unknown Nobody says, cricket is a game of momentum. RCB giving it away whenever they had it is, I think, a fair and an apt summary of what that first innings was itself, right? A lot of like takeaways and talking points there. We will get to it right now. The mid innings break is going on. Shajan goes on to say, Marizan Cup's lack of batting form comes handy for Delhi Capitals. Wouldn't have promoted Henry if not for that. This is actually a valid point, right? Marizan Cup has been off color with the bat this season, and that's probably been why DC has sort of, they had this whole genius move of sending Chanel Henry up early, and the rest, as they say, is history. Because in those over 17 to 20 itself, the broadcast shows right now, DC went like 55 runs is what they scored at the loss of just one wicket. So yeah, it was just one of those very forgettable efforts with the ball
And to
for
add to that, now you have a fresh Marizan Cup coming on to bowl against the RCB openers, so that also plays a big part in it.
Yes, Hari Prasad, very true. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, because Marzan Cup with the new ball has been, stuff of beauty. Even, as RCB fans, you just end up admiring that a lot. Pranav has to go on to say, will be entertaining to watch you all in the power play. We are being very optimistic. You're not going to lose this 4 or 5 wickets up front. This is going to be a very, very close match. Sports fan says, it seems unlike DC till now. Surely they will show something which is reminiscent of their franchise. Sportsman, I know where you're going with this. Delhi clearly is very different from their men's team. They're not going to choke. At least that's what optimistic Delhi fans will hope for. Fourth time unlucky does not seem to be on cards for them. I know at the halfway stage we all, the panel is cutting a very sorry figure for their franchise, but RCB will pull off something special is what we are hoping. I know nobody also says DC's batting was in parts in weak. Today they showed like, today they looked like a complete show itself. Hari Prasad, again, let's start off with you on this one, right? Like, do you agree with the sentiment that so far this season, like as a unit, probably, you saw some phases where they were doing well, but tonight they really showed, right, what they're made of?
Yeah, I mean, all the batting units really stepped up this time. I think, I mean, we did have a few games where Lizzie like went going around with her business, and she did really well. And then we had Jemmy playing those knocks as well. But I think everything put together, I think today was where they basically showed that they're a complete batting unit. Completely agree with the comment here. I think they've done really well today, and that's why they have the 200 plus score here.
Yeah, definitely true. And let's take the other comments too, right? Naman goes on to say, bowler to watch out for from DC except Cup. I'll probably start off with this one, a very obvious pick in Nandini Sharma itself, right? She's undoubtedly the find of the season and has been super duper impressive. Just as much as, I'm an RCB fan, like just seeing her bowl well, like augurs well for India itself. But I'll open this question to our panelists as well. Let's start off with Darshan, then Hari Prasad. You can add on to who are some of the bowlers from DC you're looking forward to seeing tonight.
Yeah. Well, when you say look forward to, I kind of want them to do poorly, but but seriously speaking, I am curious to see how RCB handle Charani, like we spoke. She's again had quite a resurgence, and if RCB are not, if Smriti does not hang around to bat in the middle overs, she could cause some problems. Minu Mani has been bowling a lot better as well. She took a couple of very key wickets, so we'll see how she turns out there. And that whole Indian spin unit has really been, it is the core of Delhi's bowling attack, and it has been firing well. So there was not I didn't see the whole lot of turn today, so um, maybe that could be, maybe if they don't have that assistance, RCB could maybe take them to the cleaners, hopefully. But if they do well, Delhi will be very happy, of course. Of course, you can't look past Marizan Cap, like he said. We'll see how Chanel Henry also does. She has been bowling well with the new ball, and I think I just talked about all the bowlers basically. But yeah, I think Charani is definitely mine to watch out for, especially if Smriti doesn't come good. I think she could have a lot of interesting matchups there, and it'll be interesting on the flip side to see if any of the RCB bowlers decide they want to take her on. See how that goes. Right.
Yeah, definitely. And Hariprasad, again, any bowlers from Delhi that you're looking forward to seeing against like our RCB batters?
100% agree with Darshan. It has to be Sri Charani. I think, I mean, I don't think Radha finished her quota as well today, just bowling those 2 overs. And I think we are going to see Sri Charani bowling all her 4 overs. And given the fact that Smriti is the only left hand bat in the top order, I think in the whole of the batting 11. So having said that, I think Charani is going to be vital, and like Darshan mentioned, she's been bowling really well in Vadodara, like as compared to Mumbai. So having said that, I think she's the bowler that RCB bowlers batters would have to be wary of, and yeah, I mean negating her would be the real factor that RCB should be looking forward to. I won't be surprised if Charani is introduced much earlier as well this innings, just to like mix things up. But yeah.
Yeah, and clearly throw RCB off their plans as well. And right now, I think the broadcast, shows a montage of like RCB being happy and celebrating moments. Hopefully, Grace Harris can, really come to the party and help bail RCB out of trouble. Uh, Sports fan goes on to say, should RCB openers take a cue from DC on how they started, taking time or just strike from the get-go since it's 10 and over? I'll start off with Hari Prasad on this one. Then Darshan, you can just add on your thoughts itself. Hari Prasad, agree with this? Probably an aggressive start could do a world of good, or probably a very slow start and then see where it takes you.
If I had a chance to make the Delhi Capitals players wear the UP Warriors jersey and bat, I would do that right now. Because that's the exact approach I want them to apply at the moment. Think the opposition's UP Warriors and just go about your innings like that. Because I think in both the games they've been very aggressive against UP, and I think that's the approach that they have to employ against Delhi Capitals today.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with I kind of agree with Hari Prasad there. The only thing I would say is just take it maybe be a bit careful, because again Marizan Cap has an excellent matchup against Grace Harris, so you don't want to unnecessarily lose a wicket there. So I did love the way Harris attacked in the game against UP. There wasn't any sort of like wild swings. It was all controlled shots in the gaps. So batting like that, that kind of aggression, all down for. And so I think if they can just manage that well, because this is the sort of wicket where I think it gets better for batting the longer you're there. So I'd say maybe they could even set up a dynamic, maybe like Grace try and go for a bit more shots early on. Let Smriti sort of get herself in and then capitalize, because Smriti will have a lot of targets there in the middle as well. So that's one thing they should think about. But yeah, if they can if there's no assistance for the fast bowlers up front, I say yeah. Look to go for runs. I don't think they should place a date just to just to get themselves in, if that makes sense. If the ball is there for hitting, definitely go for it. Yeah, so that's definitely what I would say. Just again, the only thing I'm worried about is Cap versus Harris, because if that comes off, then things could go a bit south.
Yeah, guys, all fair points coming in there. And I think Unknown Nobody also probably, echoing a similar sentiment that we had, that Georgia Wall Smriti are key for this chase. One has to stay till the end, right? Although, Delhi didn't have that one batter who stayed till the end, they still had bursts, coming in from, say, Laura Wolfart, from Jemimah Rodrigues, and then eventually, Chanel Henry giving the finishing touches itself. I think, again, hindsight bias coming in a little bit here that says that is why Bell should have bowled the 90th over. I mean, I think this was something our panelists were also sort of pushing for, but then I don't know, the team management and probably the captain thought differently. Ruman going on to say, keep calm and trust Malolan. We've been doing that the whole season. The team's gone to the final, hopefully. In the final itself, this is not like the stopping point and they can pull off something. We have you playing a factor here. Darshan, again, like, do you have thoughts on this? Like, do you think Dew will possibly play a role?
So I didn't have a chance to catch the last couple of games very closely, so I didn't see quite how much Dew played an impact there. But it is getting quite close to. We're in February now, so we're no longer in Jan. So maybe we did see a whole lot of Dew in last year's WPL when it was played in mid Feb to in the few games that were played in like second or third week of February. So we did see a lot of Dew then. So if we are getting towards that sort of similar sorts of weather conditions, maybe we'll see some more. And in that case, definitely could be something special from RCB there. But yeah, we'll. I would hope that they don't think too much about that. Like just try and just make sure you set yourself up for something good. So don't rely too much on the Dew to save you. But it will be, I think, more on Delhi's mind than RCB's, because Delhi again are very reliant on their spin, and there are a lot of finger spin in particular. So if they're not able to grip the ball very well, that could cause problems. But from an RCB point of view, I just say don't try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is an external factor. They'd hope it wouldn't play as much as it of a role. Hari Prasad, again, quickly want to chime in here of how Duke could potentially play a factor. It's again something you're not really thinking about as much.
Not really, but again, having said that, if you have to consider Nadine de Klerk's like the 19th over that she bowled, I mean that it does. Not taking anything away from Janelle Henry, but I think it might be a little more easier for the batters to play that. So might be advantage RCP over here, but like Darshan said, it's something that has to be on Delhi's mind with the finger spinners that they have. So yeah, I mean nothing much to add, but yeah.
I mean, fair points there, guys, and I hope this answers your question as well, Alan. Also, just like a quick stat here, like Australia, like the highest score, right, in the women's T20 tournament final, Australia did end up scoring like a 209 for 4 versus England. This happened in a 2018 tri series. Delhi Capitals has entered the list 203 for 4 versus the RCB tonight, and Hobart Hurricanes pulled off a 193 for 4 versus Brisbane Heat in the Spring Challenge of 2025. Not sure how many of y'all remember that. But Delhi Capitals, again, with this performance of theirs, has pulled off something special. Which brings me to this comment from Naman itself, that RCB got to pull off the highest chase of WPL history for the second crown. Yeah, it's going to be an incredibly tough one. Takes me back to the RCB GG match of WPL 2025, where they did end up chasing a 200, but it's not every day that something magical like that happens. Guys, I know we don't do predictions on this show, but this watch along has seen a lot of predictions. Again, like, what's your gut telling you? Like, is this something that could happen? Do you want to infuse a little bit of optimism into the stream? Let's start off with Darshan on this one. Hari Prasad, you can, follow.
I'm always scared to be overly optimistic as an RCB fan because I'm worried I might jinx something. But seriously speaking, I think they have a good shot. Again, because I feel like once the early overs of cap are played out, I think there are a lot of targets for RCB to go after. Especially again if Smriti's around, take on the left arm spin. I think the rest of them they can be hit. So especially given there's not a lot of resistance for the turn, there's not much turn or anything. So if they are able to, so I think RCB definitely, it is within RCB's power to chase effectively. But I just think it would, obviously with a final, of course, is going to be super, super hard. But man, if they pull it off, I think we will be celebrating quite a bit, won't we? So, but yeah, I think advantage Delhi, but I think it's well within RCB's power to chase.
Yeah, because right now, as much as we're smiling and trying to keep our optimism alive, I think a lot will largely depend on how RCB gets going with the run chase itself, right? The power play will play a massive role in defining if RCB goes on to win. But Hari Prasad, again, quick thoughts on this one. Do you think RCB can pull off the highest chase of WPL history and, sort of go for that second crown?
I'm keeping predictions aside this time. I'm praying, like I mentioned before, think Delhi is UP Warriors and just go on play that second innings. That's it.
Yeah, just wear rose tinted glasses, assume the opposition is yellow, just go after it, is what Hari Prasad says. Unknown Nobody says one good thing for RCB is that DC had not much defending targets this season. Okay, thank you so much for that. Hopefully, it does end up playing out that way too. Unknown Nobody also goes on to say RCB is going to win. Let's probably start this comment for later. A very confident RCB win coming in there. We are going to keep our fingers crossed. Naman goes on to ask us like predictions for the power play score itself. Guys, again, we don't do predictions, but then if you just had to give like a ballpark figure, I'm looking at probably somewhere. Okay, Hari Prasad is like out. Do not even ask me to unmute for this one. I'm probably looking at somewhere between like 45 to 50. Very optimistic here. Darshan, again, like what are you looking at? And hopefully not loss of wickets.
Yeah, I would like to see something in the ballpark of around 50 or 45, 50 would be nice. I'll take something maybe like 40 for the loss of no wickets if we can see out Cap well. But yeah, I would hope that I'm more interested in the wickets column because RCB have had a tendency to sort of I think try too many things in the power play and lose a lot of wickets. It's not cost us as much previously, but I just hope that I just hope that they're able to play this out intelligently. But I would be overjoyed if we can get around 60. But I would take around 40 for the loss of no wickets.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, we would definitely expect, if they can get to that 50-60 mark, it would, augur well for the run chase itself. CSX telling that, one thing which we really missed was Perry's leadership. Again, we just can't talk about players we're missing out. Let's focus on the 11 that's here, but couldn't agree more with you. The kind of dynamic that Smriti Mandhana and Perry have is very different. Sportsman also says 80-20 DC. That 20 is for Nadine and Richa to pull off another freak innings. By the way, RCB's run chase has gotten off with a dot ball. It's fine. Let's not panic. There's still 119 balls. We got this. Let's keep the enthusiasm alive through the stream as well. Pranav says 6 overs of fun, hopefully in a good way, where RCB can capitalize on Delhi Capitals. I hope you saw the wordplay I did there. Pranav says, I know the television commentators will be doing everything in their power to make fans more tense right now. Right now, we are just listening to ourselves, so not sure what the commentators are doing. But then, if anything, we've seen that. And Grace Harris gets a beautiful boundary there. Great start, guys. Hopefully, we see a lot more of this. Yeah. Naman also goes on to add, will we see a century today? Yeah, again, it would be very interesting if we do get to see one. Darshan, Hari Prasad, do you want to take this one on? Would you be very pleased to see probably a century tonight?
I wouldn't mind it at all. I wasn't even thinking about that if I'm honest, but yeah, if I wouldn't mind one at all. You never say no to never say no to an RCB player making good runs, So
Exactly. I think a lot of us did want Smriti Mandhana to be the first player to score a WPL century. What better occasion than a final to, get that? If not being the first player, getting into the final is something incredibly special. I think Hari Prasad for this segment is like, boys, I'm just going to focus on the match and see how this.
No, I'd actually like to add in one thing. I mean, just quoting the previous owner of RCB, great, but win the trophy. That's about it.
Yeah, the milestones will keep coming. Baki ka, dekh lenge. That is another boundary, guys. Let's keep the optimism high. RCB 8 for no loss in 4 balls. I'm not sure if we are like on par with our streams, but then something is happening. Boundaries are coming. Let's just, see this optimism coming. Pranav again going on to ask Naman, what's the question about the team or player? What's a hater we have here for RCB? Definitely, he was talking about a player. Pranav, going on to admit he's trying to rage bait us. Let's not fall prey, guys. RCB will, obviously make it past 100. We will see a batter, if not get a century, make a decent total. But yeah, guys, let's try to keep our optimism high. 8 for no loss, 0.5. There's still a lot that can happen. And to all the folks who have, joined us, then please keep spamming us in the comments. We'll keep taking it up. Right now, there's a lot of you here, so that's really nice to see. Let's keep the stream alive. We're in for a good run chase. I know you see a lot of like tension amongst our panelists and me trying to, keep the optimism as high as possible. But then, yeah, that's how things are looking like right now. Okay, almost had our heart in our mouth there, but whew. Okay. That's 1 over done, 9 for no loss. Yeah, guys, so far, I think this will be our reaction. Just a smiley face. We will take a 9 run
That
over
is not
in
the
Australia.
reaction. I'm sorry.
Nine of a Marzan Cup over.
Is
No
still.
wicket. Grace Harris is still there.
I'll actually
That's good.
take that.
Yeah.
I'll actually take that.
Yeah, let's probably take that, guys. Any runs that's coming at this point, that's, almost on par with the asking rate is still good signs. Syed goes on to say 203 is more than par score. Saini Sadgare is too expensive. So as Shriyanka Patil, even Arundhati looked a little wayward today. Yeah, we did talk about the bowling effort being like a little all over the place. Something RCB will look ahead in probably future seasons on trying to beef up that bowling, not entirely depend on Lauren Bell to do the heavy lifting. Uh yeah, gotta hope for the best, guys. I just want to see your reaction on this one. We just lost a wicket. Delhi Capitals absolutely celebrating this one. Clean bowl, guys. Grace Harris back to
Yeah,
the
that was
pavilion, 9 for 7, 9 of 7.
that was the one I didn't want. But oh well.
Just
But
one of those
let's see.
days.
Georgia Ball hasn't actually. Yeah, we'll see what Georgia Ball does here.
Yeah,
That one. This is. I think this is exactly how she got out against UP Warriors to Shika Pandey.
exactly. Clean bowl,
Almost exactly.
just yeah. Guys, I mean, we should probably take a moment here to talk about Chanel Henry, right? With the new ball. Man, she's been complimenting Marzan Cup so beautifully. It's like Marzan Cup creates this opportunity. Chanel Henry comes and takes them. Hari Prasad, let's start off with you on that one. I think this Delhi did leave you a little speechless, but let's try to get some speech out of you, man. Like, what just happened there? Why is Chanel Henry being so good with the new ball?
Phenomenal ball. Not even kidding. That was a really good ball. And yeah, I mean, Henry's been complimenting Cap really well. I mean, even to an extent where she's overshadowed Cap on many occasions. I don't think Cap has picked a lot of wickets here and there. Yes, she has. But to her caliber, to her standards, I think she could do a lot more better. But I think Henry has stepped up really well wherever required. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll be very honest that I didn't know Henry was that good a bowler. I'm happy to be proved wrong, and I'm really happy. So yeah, I mean, really good bowling from Henry.
Yeah, I think great stuff there. And Darshan, again, like if you could add some perspective, like on why Chanel Henry has just been so good, right, with the new ball, being quite the revelation, so to say, for Delhi, and quieting a lot of critics, right, who wanted Alana King to be that other overseas player in the playing 11.
Yeah, I think yeah, the reason I wanted Henry in was also just because for her batting, because Delhi needed that extra bit of power lower down. But yeah, with the ball, I think she is. Yeah, they desperately needed her to do well as well, because if you look at the Delhi side, they don't really have another. They only have the one Indian seamer, the Nandini Sharma, so they don't really have, if besides Marzan Cap and Chanel Henry, and besides these three, they don't really even have any other seam options. So they needed her to do well desperately in these sorts of situations, and especially after that injury, I think she's just come back really well, hitting the deck well, trying to get something up with the new ball. So yeah, really good stuff from her. And yeah, like Hari Prasad, I wasn't sure if she was really up there as a bowler, um, but yeah, glad to see her doing well, and it's Delhi are turning have had quite a turnaround there. So
Yeah, man. Honestly, Chanel Henry is just like bowling really well. At one point, I was like, did Smriti Mandhana just, probably get a little bit there in that wide? And yeah, Naman, agree with you that celebratory run by Jemmy was just a priceless reaction, right? Getting a massive wicket of Grace Harris is again something that would elicit probably a reaction like that. Shajan asking us, how come all of your streams are behind? I don't know, man. At this point, I think this live stream itself is like probably pulling a lot of internet, so our streams are behind. But we're still trying to keep our enthusiasm high. Guys, what is happening? Panic, panic. That could almost be a 4, but no. Srirana, they're really good at the boundary. Whew, been that sort of a thing. CSX goes on to say, ये मादना और बॉल अभी या तो टुक टुक करेंगे नहीं तो आउट हो जाएंगे प्लीज चुप चुप बात कीजिए लाइक वी आर नॉट होपिंग फॉर दिस टू हैपन again probably takes us back to the point that probably if they take their time to build the innings we could potentially see a good partnership blossoming, and at least that's our very very optimistic hope from this match. Whew, Delhi has been good, right, with the field setting so far. Oof. An imperious boundary coming there from Smriti Mandhana. Straight drive. Finally, some life in RCB fans. The camera pans to RCB fans in the stadium, who are right there. Whew. Guys, again, just talk me through your emotions right now. I know, it's too soon to make any judgments. With Smriti Mandhana hitting boundaries like this, giving you some semblance of hope. There's a lot of criticism. She doesn't show up in big match situations, but this time around, right? I remember seeing this video by Cricket by JP where they were talking about how her, dot ball percentage is a lot lesser. Her strike rate has been higher. She's probably scored so many runs too because of all of these factors working out well. Darshan, let's get your thoughts on Smriti Mandhana itself, right? As a batter, again, not reinventing herself, but then just looking much better than previous seasons.
Yeah, for sure. She looks. I think she's also sort of just taken it on her stride a bit more. I remember that first season, she just. Yeah, I think she was probably just trying too hard, and she looked very, very out of sorts of it against the off spin. I think in the last season or so, she has really reinvented her game around that. So it's even though she has gotten out off spin a few times, she's not really looked sort of like as bad against it as we might suggest. And yeah, she's also starting to sort of she's just found a good tempo, I think, this year. So she's neither overly cautious up top, nor is she get playing recklessly and getting out. She's found something in between, and yeah, so she's done pretty well. And yeah, the tournament needs a good Mandhana, I feel, because I feel like she's too good of a player to have the returns she's had in the past couple of seasons. So yeah, I think she's. I'm very, very happy to see her come good. I hope for a good knock from her here. I always felt that the thing about her not doing well in big games is a bit of a harsh thing. It's often used to sort of make her seem as less good than she actually is. I hope she can prove people wrong today.
Yeah, honestly, because any single preview video you see, people are like, yeah, she doesn't come good in finals, hasn't done it for India, hasn't done it for RCB. And I hope tonight is the night, she can probably prove all of those detractors wrong. Hari Prasad, again, your 2 cents on this itself, right? Like Smriti Mandhana coming good tonight for RCB will be crucial, but her turning up against opponents in finals, again, a thing she can probably change tonight.
Harsh, I'd say. I mean, just that one innings where she doesn't turn up as people try to say, and good for. I mean, yeah. Back to the question. I mean, it's pretty harsh on what they say. I mean, not to draw parallels, but it happens in the men's game as well, where one of the best players they come and they do not perform in like the knockouts. It always happens, and I think the same has to be said about Smriti as well. I mean, you're discounting that because of not performing in knockouts, which is pretty harsh, I would say. So, I mean, I think there would be the few games where she would come and like it does not discount her caliber as a player, because I mean pressure gets to you. I mean, you're all human at the end of the day, so you can't really say that she's like doesn't is not a person who performs in knockouts. It's it's pretty harsh.
Yeah, I think people use stats very conveniently to again drive points there. Again, guys, disclaimer: this is not coming from ardent RCB fans, but based on our understanding of how things eventually end up panning out. And I know nobody also says that Smriti is a classic anchor. Now she found pacing, complete innings with a good strike rate as well. Again, we hope that it does end up working out well. Guys, Georgia Ball again looking in good touch there. A brilliant boundary coming there, a square cut and her looking in good touch, right? Again, number three is not her usual batting position, but tonight we lost a wicket early, so her coming good is, yeah, good signs, so to say. Just to close this argument on Smriti Mandhana and how people criticize her, is the big game thing is just one of those things, said for views online. I agree with this, right? It's a good clickbait to be like, yeah, Smriti Mandhana, flops in playoffs or in important matches itself. So, yeah.
It's like you're a good player and you just need some reason to hate on them. So you just nitpick everything that goes wrong and you just bring it out there. It's pretty much that.
Yeah, and I think a lot can be attributed to even fan armies doing that, bring players they don't like down. And I'm definitely not for it. Hopefully there is some introspection, for fan armies that sort of get off on it. Uh, yeah, I think even Pranav goes on to say that's a great scoop and cut considering the ball is keeping low. She must be seeing the ball really well. Yeah, I mean, just hoping that this continues to be the case, for the rest of the match as well. It's not a one-off sort of a thing. But yeah, guys, right now RCB 26 for 1 3 point, yeah, they're 3.1 overs. Again, hopefully panic station's not on. RCB is what, 8 at the required run rate, and the required run rate is almost up to 10, right? Let's see how this partnership sort of helps. Chanel Henry obviously being given another over there. But yeah, guys, at this stage, like RCB will need a good power play. There's like obviously no two ways of seeing that. Hopefully, Smriti Mandhana is able to bat deep. But yeah, each ball like in this over will matter. Yeah, let
Yeah, I'm hoping that Wall can also be there with Smriti, so that they have somebody who can also, because Wall has actually got quite good numbers against off spin. And it's small sample size, but it's there. So I hope she can be someone who can sort of go after Delhi's off spinners, so that even though Smriti's game against them has gone better, I think that would also just give Jemmy one more thing to think about. Like, if she's doing well against the off spin, I can't necessarily bring them on that easily. Because that's what Grace Harris does. Just her presence there makes it difficult for teams to throw the off spin at Smriti. So I hope Vol can do something similar today, and yeah, hopefully these two can have a nice partnership here.
yeah, definitely, because Georgia Ball herself, right, seems to be in good touch, gets another boundary. Yeah, hopefully a lot more of this. Roman also goes on to say that the bounce being so low for a final seems like an absolute shit show. I mean, I don't know, man. Like this is the same kind of surface they were using. I think this is pitch 7 that they're using, the same one used for the eliminator. I remember reading it in like somewhere. Again, like you can't again blame like the pitch and everything. Like you have to keep all of those variables out and just focus on like what you can control. And RCB seem to be doing that right now. Naman asks us a very pertinent question of who walks in at number 4 today, right? Radha Yadav again can't be your answer to that, guys, because although she has done well, this is again a pressure situation, and you'd probably want to, think about that a little bit. I'll probably start off with, Hari Prasad on this one, and Darshan, you can probably chime in with your thoughts on who walks in at number 4 today.
Honestly, it depends on the situation. I'm hoping Wall and Mandhana stay as like till the end as much as possible, so that you can just bring Richa in. But I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky question for sure. Probably would stick to Radha, but I'm more towards Richa coming in as well. I mean, it completely depends on this partnership, to be honest. I would say, but more towards Richa, I'd say, more than Radha. Yeah,
Yeah, and meanwhile, as we are talking, Georgia was looking in good touch. Like she plays a very interesting shot there, behind the wicket
a
keeper.
signature shot, more like.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, let's probably also get Darshan's thoughts on this one. Like, who walks in at number 4, Darshan, for you tonight?
Yeah, I agree with Hari Prasad there. I would probably look at this. I would love it for Smriti and Vol to bat deep, because then you can also very easily bring in Richa at 4, and then you can just go from there on. Um, if hopefully they don't lose one soon here, but if they do, I would actually be quite tempted, especially if Kap's overs are done. I would actually be tempted to give Radha Yadav a punt, because she's actually looked in fairly decent touch with the bat, way more than I'd ever expected. So I think that might just be something she can just go in and sort of play a bit of a cameo there, just have some fun. Make even if she can make like a 20 of 10, I think that would be very valuable for RCP. Just gets the entry point for Richa just spot on, and also gives a little bit of boost. That would be very nice. But yeah, but ideally, if these two can bat till around the 10th over, then it sets everything up nicely for a Richa to come in, for an Nadine de Klerk to come in. And hopefully it doesn't come to that, but Pooja Vastakar also will probably get a good point then. Oh, a good shot.
Yeah, and I think for all the criticism that Radha gets, right, even for her domestic side, Baroda, she does, bat like higher up there in the order. I know you can't compare like domestic cricket to like WPL, and like it's not comparable or like interchangeably used in that sense, but Radha again has done well so far. But again, high pressure chase, not sure if they'd want to, mix it up there. I know nobody also asks us, did the pitch change? Like it's a little slow and little low bounce. I think this has been characteristic of the Vadodara wickets itself, right? Navi Mumbai was like absolute roads. People were like going at it very, batting heavy sort of surfaces. But at least with Vadodara, I think low bounce has been a feature in that regard. Yeah, Sportsman goes on to say RCB have to make sure they don't lose a cluster of wickets and expose their finishers right now. Even if they're behind the rate, it can be covered later. Yeah, which I think sort of ties back to what Darshan himself was saying, that bring in Radha at this point if they lose a wicket could be valuable. You can obviously end up saving Nadine de Klerk and Richa Ghosh for later. Yeah, Naman goes on to ask us, how about a left field pick in someone like a Nadine de Klerk coming in at number 4? But again, Naman, I think everyone would want to sort of save her for later itself, and see if she can produce some fireworks there. I hope that's not a run out. Her bat seems to be grounded there, so yeah, just a formality there. Uh,
I think she almost had her glove in actually.
yeah. Pranav goes on to say slow, low pitch batting advice, never on the back foot. Literally, just try to hit as many as possible there. DC came prepared too well. At least the field placements say that. Yeah, I mean, Jenny is quite the astute captain, right? As much as she doesn't have international captaincy experience, at least domestically, she's been, uh, like, been that sort of a captain, and her captaincy chops are for all of us to see. CSX going on to ask us how much the long break affected us. Could that be our excuse? Yeah, I think a lot of fans will sort of lean into that, like, oh, the scheduling is so bad, like, 6 days break and all of that happened. And historically, too, right? We've seen how it's affected Delhi Capitals. Finally, they are not at the receiving end of it. But, guys, just as we talk, another boundary comes in. Let's go, Marazan, off Marazan Cup. Georgia Wall does not miss out this time. Great signs. Again, guys, just talk me through your emotions. Like, good to see boundaries like this coming in, Darshan.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's nice to see Ball finding her tempo a bit. She showed some signs of force, but she's usually always found very, almost for lack of a better word, stupid ways to get out. I think to that Mumbai game where there was a ball that was like a foot down leg, and she found a way to nick it to the keeper's glove. So I'm glad to see she's getting some runs today, and hope she can keep going. Yeah.
And Hariprasad, again, do you want to add a point here? Because Sportsfan goes on to ask us, will Kapi bowl 4 on trot? Just as we talk, another boundary coming in. But again, temptation to use Marazan Cup there up front early and see all you can extract from the surface.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, but another comment from Sport Fan that you displayed before about the fact that they don't lose a cluster of wickets, and then even if they're behind the rate, it can be covered later. I think that's something that they need to do, which DC did not do, because Delhi, I mean, gave a lot of dot balls. I mean, sure they did cover up in the later on in the innings, but the power play had a lot of dot balls with Lauren Bell bowling really incredibly well. So, having said that, I think that's something that RCB cannot afford. Like, try rotating and don't worry too much about the run rate, required run rate. I mean, yes, you can always cover it up later on, but just keep the scoreboard ticking. Ensure that there are not a lot of dot balls, and I think that will put a lot of pressure on the Delhi fielders as well, because they're fielding really well at the moment. So the more you try to induce a lot of singles and doubles wherever possible, I think that will put a lot of pressure on Delhi, and that's something that they need to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was a good comment itself. I'm glad that we could sort of highlight it again. But yeah, it's really nice to see our live chat also being very active and enthusiastic. Yeah, Anand Nobody goes on to say, Richa coming sooner. Getting used to pitch is better for the run chase itself. At least that's how, RCB have sort of modeled their batting, that she comes in later and does her, like deluge of boundaries and ensures they're in a good space itself. Nandini Sharma is into the attack, guys. Let's see how she fares. She's been good with the new ball, picks, wickets up front. Usually gets stomped in the end, but at least with the new ball, she sort of gets unplayable. Smriti Mandhana gets off strike there. Uh, okay, let's take this comment from Pranav. He goes on to ask us, how much do we blame or like credit captains on field placement in 2026? I think they're almost preset by team management planning nowadays. Again, we're not privy to conversations that happen, within like team dressing rooms and environments itself. But Darshan, again, do you have thoughts on this one, like field placements and how much
Yeah.
of a role the captain has to play?
Yeah, I was hoping to jump in on this one. You can make, I think, again, I'm not an expert, I don't know how this exactly operates, but you can make a lot of decisions in the backroom stuff the night before. But sometimes it's very much down to making small adjustments on the field. Like we saw, for example, with Richago, with that Nadine de Klerk short ball that didn't have protection down there. Like these are the small adjustments you want to make as a captain on the go that you don't necessarily have time to consult a backroom staff for. So that's where I think the captain comes into play, sort of being proactive with that thinking and trying to get these things down. And yeah, so that's probably where I think a captain still is very very important, because you don't always have time to go back and forth with the backroom stuff. You can set your plans, but it's down to the captain to sort of improvise and adapt and sort of bring that human element to it.
Yeah, definitely, because otherwise it just makes the role of the captain very redundant. And yeah, we see another boundary coming in there from Georgia Ball. A very, it reminded me of a very tennis-like shot, but then you'd still take it, in your stride. Hari Prasad, again, because you are interested in the data analytics and like the that side of things as well. Again, like the field placement aspect, like how much of a role does the backroom support staff play and the captain itself on the field?
Completely agree with Darshan over here. I mean, you can set your plans for each and every player individually, and probably execute that. But having said that, your the captaincy instinct is something that is very much required on the field as well, because I mean, you can plan as much as you want with the data that you have, but the data can only give you like probably like 50 or 75% of the story. I mean, it might get you the result, but not at all occasions, right? So I think that's where your captaincy instinct comes into play. Obviously, you can't completely rely on instinct at the moment in the world of data at the moment right now, but it does play a big part where you do need your instinct to probably change things up in case your plan does not work. Good shot. Good
Yeah,
shot.
fair point there.
Smriti.
And just as Hari
Yeah.
Prasad was completing his answers, Smriti Mandhana, clobbers another one to the boundary. RCB's passed the 50 run mark, 53 for 1, right now at the 5.5 overs stage. Shajin goes on to say, Wall is looking good. Carp 3 is done for, 26 runs given and no wickets. Should back themselves to chase this. Hopefully that does end up happening. And guys, I think Pranav really loved your answers. He says, yes, it's a great answer. So thank you so much for your lovely insights, panelists. But yeah, one more ball left in this Nandini Sharma over. Let's see what ends up happening. She played that was a back of the hand delivery. Smriti Mandhana deposits it right across over to the boundary. A six to finish things off, guys. 59 for 1. 6 overs. I think the smile is returning slowly. We were predicting somewhere in that 40 to 50, ballpark figure in that power play, the prediction time when Naman did ask us. But 59 for 1 is something we definitely take with both hands. The chase is, well, alive and kicking, so to say, right? 145 runs needed in just 84 balls. Just 84 balls. But then let's, sort of hope for the best. I think Hari Prasad will join us back in just a bit. But yeah, Darshan, this is not the halfway mark, but at least like 6 overs done, power play, right? 59 for 1. Again, like your thoughts on this, and any given day of the week, you will take this, right?
Oh, for sure. I think they've got off to a beautiful start. They've had a lot of instances in this tournament where they tried to go a bit too hard up front and they lost a lot of wickets. I think back to the Mumbai game, the both Mumbai games, as a matter of fact, and some of the other ones. So I'm glad to see them get to a more controlled start here. And yeah, this is a great platform. If they can just keep hang in there and just sort of get used to the conditions, I think they could genuinely chase this down, because you've also still got so much power sitting in the dressing room. So I think, yeah, this is really game on here.
Yeah, because I think we just had a
And
comment coming in. Yeah, a boundary, that comes off Charlie as we start off. That middle overs are going to be critical now, especially strike rotation against Sri. I think most of you were mentioning, like both of you were mentioning, right, that Sri Charlie is going to be one bowler that's going to be tough to face. Yes, we have Hari Prasad also join us back. Yeah, we witnessed a boundary. RCB is looking good now, 64 for 1. CSX says they won't get easy fours now. Hopefully, that is not the case, and this is the start of many boundaries to come. Yeah, sportsman, I like this question. Do you think if this would be another final where the captain goes to Shifari for some magical breakthrough, it could happen? Yeah, for the uninitiated, that's what exactly happened in the Women's ODI World Cup final. Harmanpreet Kaur hands the ball to Shafali Verma. The rest, as they say, is history, right? Picking up two massive wickets, and wouldn't be surprised, if Jemimah Rodrigues, the captain, is inclined to do that. Very jokingly, they call her a bowling all-rounder now because of her exploits with the ball itself. But guys, at any point you sense that desperation coming in, that they probably want to go with Shafali, the bowler. Hari Prasad, let's start off with you on this one.
I mean, if need arises, why not? If we could go with Grace, then in the previous game, then why not? I mean, I think Jemmy will. probably have that in the back of her mind. I mean, if things do go haywire and you need like an X factor, and this is where I talk about captaincy instincts. I mean, that's when you like think like maybe a different approach to the game is required, and that's where you can bring someone like a Shafali to bowl. And yeah, I mean, it's highly possible. You can't rule anything out.
Yeah, cricket is a funny game and wouldn't entirely be surprised with that happening. But the Sri Charani over has already proven to be quite the expensive one. Two fourths coming in there. We've had three singles as well. Probably, they're just trying to take on Sri Charani as much as possible. Great signs. And Pranav saying a big over coming. Not sure if he's referring to this one or, possibly the next one because the power play is done and dusted. And let's see how it eventually works out. That could have been a close run out, but Smriti fortunately managed to get her bat in time there.
Now, this is what I mean by like putting pressure on the fielders. I mean, taking these runs like these. I mean, you can like the fielding has been top notch, but putting pressure like this probably might see them break.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly.
exactly because I think back. Sorry to interrupt, but I think back to the second Delhi RCB game, the one that they lost. I think despite having a decent click of boundaries, they just did not seem to run any singles in the first six, and that is I think that's why their run rate was not quite where it could have been. And those crucial runs I think proved to be a difference in the end. So it kept them to 110, where maybe 130 could have been very competitive.
Yeah, definitely. And just as we speak, right, they're showing us the orange cap leaderboard as well. Smriti Mandhana sitting quite comfortably there at the number five position. Hopefully, a good knock coming in today can see her, surpass Harmanpreet Kaur, who's right now at 342. Yeah, I think we'll also be hoping for this, Pranav, that Georgia ball won't be slowing down. Yeah, right now I think they're taking a strategic break of 2.5 minutes, but we will keep the conversation going. Yeah, Naman Smriti is 30 runs away from Herman. Hopefully, can take the orange cap like she did right in that 2024 season as well. But yeah, guys, right now at the 7 over marks, RCB is 71 for one. Things are looking good. Again, like, do we have thoughts right now, like what's happening? I know it's a lot of questions, but then let's keep the conversation going.
I actually have one question that I'd like to address. I think I think unknown nobody, if I'm not wrong, did mention about Richa at four, and that just took me back to her innings in the World Cup against South Africa at Vizag. I think, I mean, even though she came down the order, but I think she had a lot of overs with her, like to play, and I think she did produce a 90 odd knock over there. So that was something that came into my mind like almost immediately. And maybe if, God forbid, but a wicket falls right now, it won't be a bad idea to send Richa and probably make her get used to the conditions because obviously she's a much more mature player at the moment who's not just someone who can tonk the ball but can also play the situation out. So just thinking about that innings, maybe it won't be a bad idea to send Richa up the order as well.
Yeah, a valid point there. I think I know nobody just going on to add, Richa versus MI, sort of did the same. Wouldn't really complain if she can pull off something like that. Again, Naman, ensuring we don't get ahead of ourselves, going on to say 2016 all over again. Naman, no, do not remind us of that final. We're going to ban this comment and not have it come over. Roman, what is this question? Is Darshan a GG fan? Wow, he's literally wearing like the OG RCB merchandise. How can you ask this question? But we see where it's coming from. Darshan making his affiliations very clear. Why would he wear a GG jersey in a DC RCB final? But anyways, need the banter
Yeah.
definitely coming in there. Darshan, do you want to address this?
My brother actually, I think my brother couldn't see the RCB logo as well, and he was asking me why did they not tell you the dress code or something like that. So yeah, I should maybe pull it up a bit like this.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
RCB through and
Loud
through.
yes, yes, just showing the logo there loud and proud. But yeah, again, the comments keep coming in about Darshan having his affiliations for Orange Army, for Gujarat Giants. No, guys, that's not the case here. He's a loud and proud RCB fan. Just go see his Twitter bio. Okay, you'll probably see that. I can understand, Roman, that sometimes the lighting can be a little tricky in that way. Like the orange jersey can give you GG inclinations, but
Darshan would be the last person to be called a non RCB fan after having looked at his Twitter. I'll be very honest.
yeah, I mean, that's not to say like he posts a lot of like, very pro RCB things, but like he's very balanced about his perspectives and you probably get an understanding that, he isn't entirely like that. But yeah, Of course, this had to come in. Like the banter just doesn't end. First day as a spy and RCB fam. Durandar reference coming in there. Yeah, I think the strategic timeout is done. Shefali Verma is into the attack, guys. Can we see a wicket here? Only time will tell. I think they took a quick single there. Yeah, Shajan goes on to say, like in the eliminator, the pitch is good for batting, except for the one spot where the ball just keeps low, right? Just keep them out and you will be fine. That's again like a great insight there. Thank you, Shajan, for that. Unknown Nobody says RCB needs to be careful against Shefali. Yeah, I mean, in her WPL itself, right? She's gotten like what 3 wickets, but we've seen, that sometimes whatever she touches turns to gold, especially in finals and in knockouts. So, yeah, got to see how that works out. Wow, Georgia ball takes her down. Could have been a boundary, but yeah, just a quick single there. Naman says Darshan is a neutral RCBian, just like you, Ruman. Oh, yeah, right. Ruman is a proud neutral. Yeah, right. Let's just see his affiliations during the IPL, okay? WPL sab chodo, you see it during the IPL. But yes, please keep the conversation going, guys. Need some distraction. We see, us taking their time, taking easy singles, sort of keep the strike going in there.
I'll
But
be
yeah,
honest,
guys,
though, I feel more love for the RCB women's side than I do for the men's ones a lot of the time.
same. Ever since
Yeah,
2023, like, I literally feel the same. I think
yeah.
Hari Prasad will agree with us there too. Ever since the women's team come,
100%.
yeah.
100%. I mean, they got us the first silverware, obviously.
They'll obviously have a very special place in our heart. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the management change and all of that coming in. If RCB gets bought out, what would it mean for the women's team? Like, the whole identity change and everything. That's a conversation, that's an emotional conversation for another day as well. I know nobody says Shefali bowls slow, which makes batters double minded. Ooh, interesting. Okay, probably gets them thinking. Smriti Mandhana hits a boundary, guys. Let's go. It's happening. Yeah, a good boundary there coming in, a timely one, so to say. Roman going on to ask, how many trees did Bell finally end up planting? If anyone could let us know that exact count, we would really love for that. And also, guys, with this whole dot ball initiative itself, right? Do the trees actually end up getting planted? Like, where is it getting planted? Why is there no transparency and more information on that? But again, not time for investigative journalism, so I'm going to stop right there. CSS says not more than CSK in 2025. Of course, having to keep the banter alive. Naman says 2024 tick, the women's team did it. 2025, the men's team did it. 2026, can the women's team do it for the second time? Fingers crossed. That's exactly what would really bring a wide smile across all of our faces. I know nobody says Bell has bowled 130 dot balls. Wow, that's actually like a really, really
I
good.
think the number is a little more, if I'm
Oh,
not
it's a
wrong.
little more?
I
Okay.
think so. Because I think I saw her on 120 something when it was the start of the innings, and she did go on to bowl a lot more dot balls after that.
Oh, I see. Perfect. I mean, if someone could give us a confirmation on that, let's keep checking the stats column as well, because sometimes it's difficult to get stats like this as easy as possible. Uh, okay, 80 for one in 8 overs, guys. Minu Money starts off with a wide. RCB looking, on course to chase this down. Ruman says, Neha, please ensure bots don't spam. We don't have bots, Ruman. We're not that famous so far, but like, let's keep the comments coming in either ways. I love this comment. BCCI buys carbon footprints. They are not planting it. Yeah, not time for investigative journalism, but unknown nobody. I see you and your thinking there too. But yeah, guys, at this stage, Delhi was what 75 for two, RCB's 82 for one. So I think we'll still take it in our stride. The run chase is alive and thriving. The current run rate is 10.04, required is like 10.31. So RCB's almost there. Hopefully, it can be a situation where they can, chase it down as well. Okay. Another brilliantly timed boundary, guys. Georgia Wall looking in really good touch. She's just coming into her own at the right time. Again, not trying to get ahead of ourselves, but then it's looking like one of those days. Let's have your thoughts, guys. Darshan, I see a lot of like nods and like a very wide smile there. Talk us through what you're feeling.
Yeah, no, I'm just delighted with the sort of stroke play she's doing. She's not really tried, like, she tried a few laps earlier on, but nothing too much since. She's just been playing conventional shots. She's been moving around the crease a little bit, I think, and I think that's something that I think some batters have not really done in the past. So good on her. And yeah, I think RCB. This is again one of the. This goes to show like how much RCB desperately needed that number three there, or rather how much better they look with that strong number three there, because it just sets up everything so beautifully moving forward. Like you have Richa coming at the right time, Nadine de Klerk comes in at the right time, so it all just sets up so beautifully. Let's hope it comes good today. Touch wood, but yeah, I think so far she has done beautifully, and yeah, I hope she keeps going.
Yeah, I think with us RCB fans, it's always like this, right? It's either calculators or we're saying a statement very confidently and then being like touchwood because we absolutely do not want to jinx it. Because so far, the duo of Smriti and Georgia Wall are looking good. Georgia Wall coming good is like, great signs for RCB. It's going to be quite the deep run chase. Need either of these batters to, really sort of hold one end and, do enough in that way. Okay, Georgia Wall sort of swat that. Ooh, Delhi has been immaculate, man, with their fielding. Again, guys, going on a quick tangent here again to just sort of distract ourselves. Like so far in the WPL, who has been your favorite like fielding team? For me, like Delhi is right up there, but yeah, just who has been like your favorite fielding team?
I'm inclined to agree. I think Delhi have been very, very good in what I've seen. Even RCB had their moments. Like if you remember that the second Gujarat game, there was a period when Ash Gardner was actually middling it really well, but somehow they were still they basically cut almost everything off in the field. They basically just absolutely choked everything, every angle, everything. So when they get going, RCB, I think they are spectacular in the field, and they have the players to support it. But I agree with you. Delhi have looked pretty immaculate as well.
And Hari Prasad, your pick for the best fielding team so far. Again, there's no
Nice.
awards for it, but still.
I second what Darshan said. I think Delhi have been like really good on the field so far, and today's display just shows that. I mean, honestly speaking.
Yeah, I think they'd be really proud of their fielding efforts too. Our live chat again coming up with some very interesting perspectives. Let's take this one. Shajin goes on to say, Ruman, not enough trees for RCB to smoke them with their AI edits. Bell herself destroyed few of the trees with her chat GPT ad, which I'm baffled if some of you have not seen it because, man, I mean, some very inventive writing there coming in for the uninitiated. There's a lot of Bangalore slangs that come in, which I think you'll really enjoy, if you understand like the culture and everything that's happening here. Roman goes on to say, just checked 128 dot balls. Okay. CSX says 130 balls in 21.4 overs across 9 matches. That's 36 overs. If that stat is right, she has bowled 21 maiden overs out of 36. Absolutely crazy stuff. Will again, need a fact check on that. But thank you, CSX. Like this is really good data. Roman goes on to say it adds up to 64,000 trees, guys. Lauren Bell literally, growing those trees there while we continue doing live streams and AI edits on her bowling itself. Sports fan says crazy stats, surely player of the match. If RCB goes on to win, I'd probably say player of the tournament, but then bowlers are never rewarded for their efforts as much. But yeah, guys, right now the run chase itself, right? 92 for 1 in 9.1 overs. Nandini bowling those back of the hand ones there was clobbered there for a 6 by Smriti in one of those earlier overs. But then she's trying to still generate some chances, which is great stuff. Yeah.
I think that 9.1 delivery was the first dot I've seen in a long time. I mean, I
Okay.
don't remember the last time a dot ball was bowled. I mean, in the span of overs, I think they've been really good. RCB like rotating around.
That's actually
Uh,
a very good observation, Hari Prasad, because the last dot that came was way back in the fourth over. Sorry, go on.
so that's good actually. I needed that start actually. So thanks for filling in. But yeah, I mean, that's really good that RCB have been rotating really well and putting the pressure. And I think we've also climbed up in terms of the over rate as well. I mean, the run rate as well. So great job there.
Yeah, definitely great signs there. And I don't know, right now we have probably taken a little bit of a break. At least I see an ad coming in there suddenly. I hope it's not a serious injury to Nandini there. Like, wait, I think Darshan's on mute. Darshan, hold on, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean to say, like, if I saw it, okay, she looks fine now, but yeah, I think it did come very hard at her, but I think she looks fine now. But I was worried if it had hit her finger, maybe then there could have been some more lasting damage. But if it's hit her palm, I think that's okay. But yeah, but she's back to bowling now, so yeah.
Yeah, great signs for DC, and definitely don't want an Indian bowler, getting injured there. Yeah, Ruman obviously going on to compliment Hari Prasad there by saying, Hari, observation crazy. Hats off to you, sir. You already have fans, Hari Prasad, in the comment section. Naman very cheekily adding that if you are a pacer named Sharma, you've got to bowl back of the palm. Yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, guys, right now RCB again 93 for 1, 9.3 overs. I know I keep giving score updates right now because of like how heavily RCB is moving on, right? Georgia ball striking at 147. Smriti Mandhana also doing her thing at the other end, which is great signs. A dot ball, okay. Sachin goes on to say how much these dot ball stats matter. Renuka is always high on these stats, but generally has struggled in the WPL. Actually, let's get your thoughts on this itself, right? Like bowling dot balls in a T20 is definitely a valuable commodity because getting wickets can be really tough. Let's start off with Hari Prasad on this one, right? Like, do you agree with this? Like, do dot ball stats really matter? Because wickets are something we're more interested in, but again, dot ball sort of help you get there and make you like a very enticing prospect to go after, which ends up landing your wickets.
Certainly, I mean, dot balls do induce a lot of pressure. I mean, being a bowler myself, whenever I play games, and I try to get a lot of dot balls as much as possible because it puts a lot of pressure on the batting team as well. And they try to play a false shot or something like that, and that ends up getting a wicket. I mean, you can try to aim the sticks as much as possible, and that is going to give you a wicket probably like 2 or 3 times out of 10 times. So, having said that, I think dot balls do play a crucial factor. Good shot. Good going. But yeah, getting back on track. So like I think dot balls are important, and the more dot balls you bowl, the better. And I think that's something that Lauren Bill has done really well this whole tournament. So yeah, I mean, I do agree that dot balls is something that puts a lot of pressure on the batting team. That too in a format that is as dynamic as T20s, where I think we see a lot of huge scores coming up. So I think dot balls is priceless, if I have to put it that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do end up taking it for granted, but dot balls do have that sort of an impact. I think there's another comment coming in from unknown nobody. Yeah, Renuka's good ball is great, but iron balls are too bad. Yeah. Naman says my favorite IPL slash WPL sponsor moment was the fastest delivery in 2020. Throughout, I think that tournament you had Lockie Ferguson, Umran Malik, Enric Nokia, fight for it. And almost every game that ball happened to have been smacked for a boundary. So ironic. Valid point. Again, CSX, not ending there with the 2016 references, 100 of 10, everything going up according to the 2016 script. No CSX. I know the RCB fan in you is like feeling very inclined to hop on this 2016 trend, but no, this team is going to hopefully reverse it. And I know it's very easy to like sort of believe that that could happen, but no, we're going to be optimistic that it's not. But yeah, guys, halfway mark, things looking good. Yeah, God's plan. Again, we have allegations of CSX being a bot as well. We have a Dhoni fan who comes in to say, Isara Cup Namde, let's go. A very interesting combination there. Supports CSK in the IPL, but RCB in the WPL. Great signs. And by the way, CSK did announce that they might be investing in a women's team very soon in the WPL. So I'm not sure if they're doing it for PR or they're really going to do it, but yay, more teams, more
Can't
people
really
showing
call
up.
them CSK in that case, though.
Yeah, it's going to change to something else, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Smriti Mandhana steps down. That is a very special shot, guys. Let's go. That's a six. CSX again not believing things at face value. It's like Dhoni fan jinxing it. 2016 CSK, that's it. That's the comment. Got to pin this and keep it right up there. Just, I think, adding on to the whole discourse we were having about dot balls itself, Shajan goes on to add that I think it should be combined with boundary percentage. Anyone bowls in the power play will, end up having a lot of dot balls. Belt conceded fewer boundaries. Probably that can be like an added nuance itself, right, to how we view dot balls. Thank you so much, Shajan. That's actually a very valid point. It can largely changed, right, how we view dot balls itself. Okay, that's a single. Dhoni fan forever goes on to say, I'm an RCB fan, but a Dhoni fan. Yeah, as I rightly suspected. I went on to say CSK fan, but Dhoni fan is also valid. Naman going on to ask us, do you think it could be named CSQ because Chennai Super Kings, but like women's team can't be kings, so will it be Chennai Super Queens? Again, not sure. Time will tell, if they want to sort of rebrand like that. Yeah, Naman says Smriti batting at 220 plus, right? Great signs. Uh, yeah, Georgia Ball, meanwhile, brings up her half century. Much deserved applause coming in from our panelists and the RCB camp right there. Whew, that's good stuff, guys. Good half century. Beware of high voltage. I love whoever comes up with these very interesting stuff. Like, good copywriter there sitting. Even Smriti, right, at the other end, sort of doing her thing, which is great
Yes,
sign.
Smriti is she's batting at 220, but hasn't been. I don't think she's played one sort of. She's not looked at any point like she's like trying to hit hard. It's just looked so elegant throughout. Like it's amazing innings from her, and she's also very very close to the orange cap. No, with no jinx, but touch wood. But I think she's very very close now.
Darshan had to put touchwood out there because he's like, yeah, I don't want,
Shane Warne, Mark Nicholas moment at the moment.
I'm not a superstitious person at all, but when it comes to RCB, I'm just like.
Same here.
Yeah, and the sportsman going on to say that if DC can't win tonight, they will surely think what else they can do, right? Because, I mean, 4 finals, you do everything right, but then you end up fumbling in the finals. Is definitely not great signs. But again, we'll try not to get too ahead of ourselves. Probably take this comment at the end, right? Again, we don't want to jinx it as RCB fans. Naman says that this has been some chase so far. Didn't see this coming. They seem to be truly, they seem to be truly seeing UP Warriors instead of DC. Delhi pollution effects, huh? Trust Naman to come up with very interesting comments like this. Uh, Unknown Nobody says SRH, CSK, LSG are interested in WPL franchises, and winning World Cup this year was perfect. Sort of expand the WPL. But men's T20 World Cup made BCCI step back. Very true, Unknown Nobody. In fact, the venues itself, right, chosen for the Women's ODI World Cup was largely because they wanted to save the better venues for the men's T20 World Cup, which will take us on another tangent. But a great four there. Smriti Mandhana brings up her century of just 23 balls, a classy knock, right? Big match player stepping it up in a great fashion. Again, let's not get
Smriti
ahead
going
of
inside out is just oh my god.
yeah,
Beautiful shot.
stuff of beauty, guys. This is really looking good. But yeah, let's see how this ends up working out well. Right now, RCB's run rate also seems to be quite healthy. They're rotating strike, they're hitting those timely boundaries as well. Let's stay optimistic. We still have another, like 8.3 overs, so to say. Oof. But again, guys, I was just having a conversation with someone and they were mentioning that, this season of the WPL itself has probably produced some of the best matches. The quality of cricket itself has been right up there. In fact, Georgia Ball hits a boundary. Let's go. In fact, the whole point that till the last league match, we were still figuring out who could potentially have a backdoor entry to the playoffs and all of that was still in contention. Like, where do you guys stand on it? Was this the best season of the WPL so far?
Yeah, I think that it was probably the most competitive of them all. Like there's every team, you didn't feel like there was ever one team just well RCB did well, but like it was never sort of like you still felt that there was always a lot of competition within the other teams. I felt like in seasons past, Mumbai and Delhi were just sort of running away with it, and the other teams are sort of playing catch up. But here, it feels like all the teams have sort of got an idea of what's going on. Also, now is that another boundary? Oh yes, nice. So yeah, they've got the rhythm right. Especially Gujarat Giants, seeing them come in as that sort of very strong unit has really been very special, very good for this tournament. And I will give credit where credit is due. The mega auction actually worked very well in that regard, in sort of just making UP and Gujarat a bit stronger. UP still probably some tactics to work on, but still a very strong unit on paper. So yeah, all done. So all very good tournament all round. And yeah, definitely it's good to see the squads looking like a very evenly matched competition.
Exactly, because I think most of the predictions that we sort of made pre-season, right, it's just like falling flat. I mean, love to see that happening, but then like who really saw an RCB Delhi Capitals coming up? But Hari Prasad, quickly want to add here: is this the best season of the WPL you've seen so far? I know this is slightly going on a tangent, trying to keep ourselves distracted because RCB is just doing too well, and yeah, I hope they continue doing that. But again, your thoughts on this season being competitive and probably best?
I think, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that, and I think it comes down to the fact that both Gujarat and UP Warriors have had their seasons in the WPL as well, so they know how things work. Unlike RCB, Delhi, and Mumbai, who've been around in the IPL as well, so coming into a tournament like the WPL wasn't really a problem for them. I think they knew the auction dynamics and all of that, but it was a little new for teams like Gujarat Giants and UP Warriors. But since they've been around for a longer time, I think they also know how things work. They're learning slowly. So I think in that way, yes, I'm sure. It has become a little more competitive, but just a little bit like away from the question. I think in terms of fan viewing as well, I think a lot more people are more interested in women's cricket, and that is completely because of the fact that we won the World Cup, and that's sparked a lot of interest in a lot of people. So I mean, it's come out really well in that way. And I think in that sense, the WPL happening in January, the World Cup is still fresh in a lot of people's minds. So it's worked out really well in that front.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, Hari Prasad. Agree with a lot of points you bring in there, and I think the fact that in such a short a turnaround itself, having the WPL again, just sort of helped reignite the audience and their memory of women's cricket and how it is only like good growing from strength to strength. We have a lot of live chat comments coming in. It says Smriti clap clap, her doing really well. Smriti making haters shut up, and CSX, putting an anti-jinx spray out there to Smriti as well because yes, that's a six. Right there. Another beautiful six coming in there. DC clearly looking like a team that's searching for answers, right? Uh, yeah, at this point, they're just probably going to have to like sit there and watch the Smriti Mandhana show because of how well she's going. I'm not sure, guys. Briefly, when you guys were answering this question itself, the camera did pan to like a bunch of the Delhi Capitals camp itself, and they were like, "What is happening?" And like Saurav Ganguly looking very worried there, Parth Jindal himself being there. Hardik going on to say Baroda Express at full display. Dhoni fan says one of Wall or Smriti needs to stay for an RCB win, nothing less. Yeah, that's exactly a point we were talking about earlier to Dhoni fan. Naman says DC losing the plot, just probably bring Henry in for an over. Yeah, I mean, that's something they did try to bring in. I think even Henry herself is sort of going around the wicket to, challenge Smriti Mandhana. Let's see how that works out. Hardik goes on to say, I felt that RCB was the most dominant team throughout the season and it started right after the auction. Fair to say. I mean, they did have a great set of group stage matches and that worked out well. That's a misfield from Marizan Cup, something you'd not see very often. Guys, that goes for an other boundary. 70 or 43, suddenly the equation just seems more doable. Don't give me hopes. I'm sure someone's going to bring in the 2016 reference again, but no, this is not going to be one of those, okay? It's not going to
This
be one
time
of
it
those.
was you who brought it up.
No, I was just trying to, avoid someone from bringing it up in the comments. Yeah, do the damage myself itself. But
It's
yeah,
okay.
Marizan Cup making mistakes on the field is very, very rare. It's one of those things. CSX says it was competitive because in some way or the other, like teams kind of matured in their auction strategy. Fair to say, I think Gujarat and UP Warriors too, right? To their credit, did well in the auction. Now things didn't work out for UP Warriors as per plans is a topic for discussion on another day itself. Roman goes on to ask us, will adding more teams dilute the competitiveness we've seen this season? I don't really think so. There's like enough ample talent that if you, spread across like a lot of teams, it would just make it all the more competitive and really, really fun to watch. At least that's where I stand on it. Panelists, what do you think about it? We can probably have
Yeah.
Darshan start off and then Hari can add. Yeah.
Yeah, so just adding to that, there is still, it's also worth noting, there's still a lot of very good players who are not making the squads consistently here. So we think about, like we spoke about Diya Yadav earlier, so Prema Rawat in RCB side. Um, we can look at the other teams. So for UP Warriors, we have Deandra Doughton didn't play most of the games there, whether for good or for worse. So you have, and there's still so many other players who are still out there. So like Alice Capsey didn't get picked this year, Heather Knight didn't get picked this year, Kate Cross for what it's worth. A lot of names that are still on the bench. Overseas Andy Tien, Izzy Wong, another one. So a lot of players who would definitely make these other squads. So you'll have a lot. I don't think the competitiveness would necessarily go down, especially given the standard of domestic cricket is rising. And remember, as when you have more teams are they're having scouting camps. They're prepping domestic players to come play these tournaments. So the standard of domestic cricket will rise as well. So definitely it will. I don't think that'll be a big deal at all.
And
Yeah,
Hari Prasad, in case you want to
yeah.
add to this, yeah.
Completely agree with that, and I think the WPL did start off with a lot of focus on the overseas players because not a lot of light was shed towards the domestic players, which is changing right now, which is a really good thing. But then I think the same idea would be carried around with the added advantage of having the domestic players have a lot more exposure. Oh, good shot, by Smriti. That's nice. But yeah, coming back to the question, but yeah, like I think the overseas players, like Darshan mentioned, there were a lot of quality overseas players that did not really get picked, and we had a lot of them pull out as well. I mean, we didn't have Perry playing, we didn't have Sutherland playing, Molyneux did not play either. So, having said that, I think there are a lot of players. Amy Jones came in as a replacement late, and a lot of the associate players also did not play because of the qualifiers that were there. Like Tara Norris missed out as well. So, having said that, I think the quality is there. And given the fact that WPL did start off with a lot of focus on the overseas picks, along with the domestic picks, like I mean the Indian regulars like Smriti Haman and etc. So I think that it would be a good. They should have really added probably a team this time around when the mega auction was there, but hoping that changes in the coming future. So I don't really think a lot of. I don't think it will dilute the competitiveness that we've seen this season.
Yeah, guys, completely agree with your perspectives there. And Georgia Ball too, right? Looking in really, really good touch, strikes another boundary. Great signs, right? I mean, right now the equation does look more doable. 59 of 38, at least that's what my stream is showing. And even ESPN's win probability, showing it largely skewed in RCB's favor at 86.16. Hopefully, that does end up
Still
happening.
not over until it's over, though.
Hari Prasad, giving us a cautionary tale there of not getting ahead of ourselves. Either result in the match will be over by 18 overs. Ooh, a bold prediction there. Georgia Ball stepping down. Okay, just an easy single. Let's take it easy. Unknown Nobody says RCB won by using data at auction. Their priority was power, strike rate. They built their team around Smriti Mandhana. Other teams are a little behind in things like this, which is actually a valid observation. RCB does, release videos of like what their auction strategies and everything. So for the uninitiated, probably you can just check that out to see how RCB goes about auction planning itself. Sportsman says, I was enjoying WPL a lot more till the moment breaks popped in. Unfortunate sports fan, capitalism is the way it is, and there's so far no feature in cricket where you can pay extra to get ads removed. So it is what it is. Smriti Mandhana, meanwhile, strikes another boundary there, guys. Oof, what an over it has been, right? Sri Charni absolutely getting creamed there for like 15 runs, the equation down to 54 of the last 6 overs. Ruman,
That
of course,
boundary that perfectly dissected the two fielders and the square leg umpire, like perfectly between them.
and the boundaries, these are the kind of boundaries you absolutely, absolutely love to see. Ruman going on to add, this is the power of Professor Malola and Rangarajan. Give this man a Raj. Let RCB win this title. We will make a petition on for this, okay?
Can't count our chickens before they hatch.
Hari Prasad again just reminding us not to get ahead of ourselves. Hardik says the WPL already has a lot more hype than the men's T20 World Cup starting this Saturday. Valid point. Couldn't agree more. CSX says I enjoyed WPL more than Asia Cup. What are these comparisons? Huh? You just look at WPL as an entity in itself. What is this comparison with men's cricket? Okay. Why compare Asia Cup with WPL? Please don't make such comparisons. Appreciate the women's game on its own merit. Let's go, Dhoni fan. I'm going to start this comment for sure. Uh, of course, Naman going on to say game seal for every 2016. There's also a 2026. Hardik says no, 2025 already erased the 2016 curse. I think, the RCB fan in him sort of speaking there. Sportsman says Smriti Mandhana, orange cap winner. I think this has been that sort of a match for her. Ensured, she slipped all of those above her in the list. Sportsman says one-sided domination by RCB. Again, let's just hope this happens like till the last ball. Let's just see what happens. I'm trying to take some of Hari Prasad's words here of not getting too ahead of ourselves. Nikhil says, yo, what's the fuss about the 204 targets so far? A lot of Nazar emojis because, you got to like see how that works out. Uh, Smriti's innings so far has been really good. It has, yeah. Because just as we speak, she hits another four, guys. 69 of 30 deliveries. Oof. It's just been that sort of a innings coming in from her.
I'd just like to bring a stat in, just drawing parallels between the IPL and WPL. Sachin was the first Indian to win the Orange Caps in IPL. In the IPL, being a Mumbaiker, and Smriti is just overtaken, being another person from Maharashtra, being the first Indian to win the Orange Cap. So, yeah.
Thanks, Hari Prasad. That is actually such a good insight, and really love that you dropped that stat in our conversation. Really made it richer in that way. Sportsman also goes on to ask us: is this the highest score by Smriti in a knockout game? I believe so. It is, right, because in the 2024 final, I don't remember her like getting a big one. Like, just correct me if I'm wrong, guys, please.
She got 30 something because it was a very small total to begin with, but she knocked off around 33 or 34, something like that. It was a slow knock, but it was still important for getting us there.
So yeah, that does answer your question, Sportsman. It is one of Smriti's highest scores. It is the highest score by Smriti in a knockout game. Hopefully, she can capitalize on it and ensure gets RCB safely across to the shore. But yeah, guys, we are going towards a very exciting part of the match itself. The last 5 overs. There's just 2 balls, I think, for this over to conclude. Let's see where it takes us. I see some RCB fans sitting very worried there. We got this, guys. Let's see what happens. Guys, another boundary. Smriti Mandhana hits another boundary. Let's go. This is happening. Roman obviously bringing in the Gem Maharashtra reference there. RCB fans looking very, very enthusiastic and happy there. Unknown Nobody also goes on to say Smriti played 2 less dots. Boundary percentage also 80%. Yes, you're absolutely right. This was the point that even Cricket by JB had brought up in the video of what really changed for Smriti Mandhana this season. And she's, executing it absolutely to perfection. That's a single. CSX says the last time an RCB woman won the orange cap, RCB won the WPL. Yeah, we know you're talking about 2024. Like, don't give us hopes now, but yes, 2026 also it seems like
These are the positive stats that we want.
Yes, keep them coming. Please keep them coming like this. Unknown Nobody also going on to ask us a hypothetical of who will score a century between, I think, like Georgia Ball and Smriti Mandhana. Guys, again, I know we don't do predictions, but I think we can just probably give in a little bit. Like, again, do you sense a century today? Or, okay, Hari Prasad has opted out of answering this question. Darshan will at least tell Touchwood like 10 times, but do you have a pick for today as to who can score a century?
Touchwood. But I think Smriti would get there if she gets it. If one of these two get a century, she would be the one. But Touchwood. Whatever does her everything. Touchwood.
At this point, yeah. And Hardik going on to clearly say, please don't jinx about the centuries. We know how much we love them. Ooh, that was a close one. But guys, the equation is simple. 42 required of 29 balls. At this stage, apparently DC was 144 for 2, but RCB is at a comfortable 162 for 1. Yeah, let's hope this is the moment. But Smriti Mandhana, guys, has been like in imperious form, right? Striking at 217 has just made batting look really, really beautiful. Making you very deserving of the Chat GPT Match IQ Award. I've not understood what this award means, but like I'm so happy like when our players win it. Oof, okay. Minu Money there at the fence. By the way, guys, I'm not sure if you've heard this. Apparently, Minu Money loves to field, okay? And she's a really good fielder. It sort of justifies that too. Akash goes on to say, oh, hi, Akash, really nice to see you here. He says, Smriti playing at 225 plus strike rate in the finals, definitely not on my bingo card. Exactly, Akash. Like a lot of people are like, Smriti Mandhana doesn't turn up in big match moments. And like she's clearly proving, right, why she's so important. Yeah, Georgia Ball plays a dot there. Okay. Ruman says, neither of them will get there, but both will. But okay, not sure what happened there. Sports fan says, guys, don't worry, you can't choke against a choker, lol. Okay, we're still going to wait till how we're going to wait and see how this match goes till the last ball. But yeah, because right now it's 41 required of 27. Okay, let's see how that sort of pans out. Okay, that's still another single. I think at this point you would still appreciate, right? The singles sort of coming in. Let's actually take this comment, guys. Let's have your comments on this. I feel really bad for Jenny. Again, there's like two ways of looking at it. She's been a part of this franchise for four like long years. This year as a captain, taking them to the final, but as a player too, right? Having faced heartbreak in the final, potentially now too. Darshan, let's start off with you on this one. Like again, like your heart does go out to Jenny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I was kind of hoping we like if Delhi made the final, it would not be RCB playing them. Like I said, I just don't like. Didn't want to root against her because like I felt really bad just watching even last year's final, seeing them lose just really made me feel bad. So yeah, I really wish I didn't have to root against her here, but yeah, I do can't help but feel. But like four finals in a row is. But again, let's wait till the match finishes before I say more about that. But yeah, it is difficult because she did bat beautifully. It was a beautiful turnaround from Delhi, and yeah, so she has a lot to be proud of the way she's led this year.
Oof, I almost had thought there was a fielder there, but that pierces the fielders and goes 4-4. Yeah, heart was almost in the mouth there, but great signs, guys. Right now, RCB 35 needed of the last 4 overs. Cricket is a funny game, so let's stick around to see what happens in those last 4 overs. Parth Jindal giving very, very angry looks there. Strategic timeout, which means we can take a few comments also from our live chat. Naman says all girls from the group will win, but Jemmy. Like fair point, little bit like heart and all goes out, but then our RCB fan sentiment is little bit taking over us today. So like apologies, we really do feel that Jemmy deserves to win, but again, not versus RCB, I suppose. CSX says, Dhoni fan by this is therapy for Smriti. Oh, maybe for the reference to the I feel bad for Smriti point. Syed says RCB looks like they're on their way for their second title. Fingers crossed. Last 4 overs. Let's see what happens. Okay. Hardik says Henry has 1 over left. Will that over change the game? Again, guys, you've seen the kind of impact that she's had with the ball up front in the power play. Hari Prasad, like, what do you think? Could she have that sort of an impact coming in the fag end too?
I mean, she's the bowler who can be the most threatening, along with Cap as well. So playing both of them out would be key over here, and just pick the loose balls out and then play them out better. That should be the plan. I think Henry did go for a bit in her previous over, but yeah, I mean, just like watch them out, and yeah, I mean, like, just be cautious around them is what I'd say. Just stick to the approach of probably rotating and then picking on the other bowlers. If there's a loose ball in here, just capitalize on it. But yeah.
And again, Darshan, like, how do you think the last 4 overs are going to play out, right, for Delhi? Because you have Chanel Henry, Nandini Sharma, Sri Charmi left with 1 overs each. And Minu Mani, again, probably can be brought in because for some reason, they're not just giving more than 1 over to Sneh Rana, right? So, like, how do you see the last four sort of play out on a bowling front for DC?
Yeah, so yeah, just looking at who has overs. I think Chanel Henry obviously has to bowl one. I think Nandini Sharma also has one, so they'll definitely bowl those 2 overs. I wonder if she'll bring back Charani because maybe if by chance she gets the wicket of Smriti, maybe she might bring back one of Charani. But besides that, yeah, I think she will have to turn back to Minumani. I think they rate her more than Sneh Rana at the moment, so I think that's probably who they will have to end up turning to. But yeah, it's not a pretty reading for Delhi. They haven't really managed to get much going right for them so far. So yeah, I think it's yeah, I think that I would. If I was Delhi, I'd probably have to bring on Chanel Henry now and see what I can do. I don't think there's any point in waiting, delaying the inevitable, because these two are going to finish the game in like the next 2 or 3 overs if you let them. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, like probably now's a better time than any to sort of do that. Under nobody, I don't know if this is like a funny comment or a sarcastic one. DC missed the plot by not giving that second over to Shefali. I mean, like she did go for 9 runs in that one over she bowled, but I'm not sure if Shefali is the answer to your questions. But again, we've seen what she has done in like a World Cup situation, so probably it wouldn't. They could have probably expected that, but Minu Money gets the ball, guys. Didn't see this coming. Probably they see, she can probably induce a mistake. An off spinner versus Smriti Mandhana. The matchup has been spoken about to death, but Smriti Mandhana clearly putting all of that to rest with a timely boundary. What a perfect start to the last 4 overs itself. Oof, what a match it's been, right? Delhi really looking like they're out of plans at the moment. Shajin goes on to say in the pre-final video, Smriti wanted runs for Jemmy and a win for RCB. It looks like her wish has been granted. Yeah, I think all of us, like fans, also expect something like this itself. Sportsman going on to say Jemmy did really well to pull out where DC were in the tournament. Yeah, credit where due. She actually did lead from the front, considering the start they had to where they are right now. Massive, massive credit to Jemimah Rodrigues itself. RCB's change of fortune this decade definitely needs to be studied. Yeah, it would
I'd like
That's
to
something I would
quote.
actually. I wouldn't. Sorry, go on.
Go on. It's alright.
Yeah, I was going to say that's something that's honestly been very refreshing, not just in the women's side, but the men's team as well. That's something I would honestly could spend a lot of time talking about. Just there's been a definite shift in the way things are approaching, and I can't help but feel, but that 2024 win that in the WPL is partially responsible for it. Like just getting that one win, I think has definitely justified their culture. That's changed their culture around. So it just looks much fresher than it did in the past. So definitely very happy to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to bring in a dialogue from Three Idiots. जैसा चल रहा है वैसा चलने दीजिए.
And just as you say that, we lose a wicket. Georgia Wall
Very
out for
wrong
a
time to say that.
Georgia Wall out for a well played 79 or 54. Take a moment. It was one of those amazing, amazing knocks. But guys, we still have batting left. There's no need to press the panic button. 30 of 21 needed. There's still a lot of hope. Lot to play
But
for.
this is
Yeah.
the wall we wanted to see all this time, this whole tournament, and I'm happy it came in the finals. So yeah,
And Minu Money proving, she has nerves of steel there, coming in at this moment where she could get tonked for runs, being able to take the wicket. You would think, right, Smriti Mandhana versus off spinner, Minu Money could do her thing, but it was Georgia Wall whose wicket she ends up pocketing. Dhoni fan says the men's game comparisons continue. What change in fortunes? RCB women are separate. Please stop with it. I mean, I understand. I think they were just trying to mention, probably like the 2024 win itself, like spelt a change in how the team itself is viewed and how that had a spillover effect on the men's team. Apologies if it did come across that way. Smriti 2.0, yeah, absolutely leading from the front. And agree with you there, Dhoni fans. Smriti hai to mumkin hai. I think this is going to be something that a lot of fans are going to be latching on to right now. I know nobody also says RCB did improve their auction plans, also improved player motivations and environment, which is definitely a valid point there. And Richa walks in, guys, at number 4. I think this was a point one of you all had brought in earlier of, based on the match situation, just bring her in. Yeah. Yeah, CSX goes on to say Jared Kimber mentioned how unprofessional RCB was when he was advising them. I hope the new owners also, sort of give that full independence to Mo Bobart, which I think is happening. But yeah,
is Mo Bobart involved with the women's team?
with the women's team, he isn't actually.
He
Probably
isn't,
we're just
right?
talking about the
Yeah.
men's team. Yeah, here.
Yeah, for the women's side, I think it's exclusively Smriti and the head coach. So
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
And someone went on to very nicely, aptly put it as Mo Ball as well. Been working on
Malo
that
ball
towards-
more like, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, right now the situation still looks well within control, right? 27 needed off the last 3 overs. Okay, Roman obviously going on to ask us something cheeky here of who else misses Mike Hesson a little bit. I think the season he did have with RCB in 2023 was quite forgettable. Like maybe he's not that apt, working with women's teams as much. Like a lot of people think it's interchangeably, like, working with men's team, women's team, the same thing. Doesn't really work out well. I think it's the same case with UP Warriors and Abhishek Nair itself, right? Pre-season, I thought it was the best possible thing they could have done, but didn't really work out well. Guys, quick thoughts on that. Like, what did you make of it?
yeah, I think I think there were a few mistakes he made in there that probably suggest he was trying to translate things that aren't really there. But one thing that Mike Hesson did very well, he was actually director, not head coach, but one of the things he did very well was just building that Indian core. So Smriti, Richa, at the time Renuka, and as well as the likes of Shreyanka, Asha, building that Indian core, I think, was one thing he actually did very well there. For the women's team, and he did similar stuff with the men's side as well. Like some of the players, some of the big names he picked were quite good for a bit there. So yeah, I think yeah, he was not bad at all. But yeah, I think now I think things are obviously better. So
Yeah, I think we can just, obviously continue to focus on the present because Nandini Sharma has been given the ball, guys. We've seen, the kind of magic she can end up producing in contention for that purple cap too. Went wicketless last match. This match, okay, Richa starts off on a very good note. Hits a four. The equation is right now 23 of 17, guys. I know you're feeling that nerves, that anxiety, like, oh, we're just getting so close to a title, but like, we're almost gonna get there
This
to
is
that
where
run
it
of Street.
this is where it hits the peak actually.
Yeah, things can go south. A few loss of wickets could be a little
Exactly.
just there. Yeah, no issues, no issues. We got this. Keep the RCB flags waving, guys. You can sense there's a lot of panic in the DC camp, not just with the players on the field, but even the administration and all the people there, watching from the stands as well. But yeah, a lot will rest on Richa doing the job for them. We've seen her do this a lot of times. They're not entirely surprised. Oof. Okay. I think that was again like a slightly slower one there. I think they're going to show the ball speed as well. Jemmy's still trying to keep the enthusiasm high amongst the bowlers, right? Sorry, you were going to say something, Darshan? I can't believe there's still the poll there which goes on to ask, like, will DC go on to lift the trophy tonight? Like, what is happening there?
if those polls decided results, RCB would have won like 30 titles by now.
Exactly. Across all seasons, yeah. Oof. Okay, another dot ball. CSX
Costly.
going on to, yeah, sorry.
Costly. These dot balls will be costly.
Yeah, a little bit the PP and the heart rate increasing. CSX goes on to say if we lose from here, we should be renamed Royal Chokers. No, the team is getting
Yeah.
bought off. We're going to change the name. RCB may not even exist for all it could be something entirely different. But no, I think they played really well. Like, let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way they're selling is will include the name, so I actually don't think RCB will change. So.
Oh, interesting one there. I think a lot of fans would be happy, right? IP remains. Guys, that's a wicket. Richa Ghosh dismissed. Nandini Sharma gets the wicket, and Minu Mani pockets
Ayyo.
another one tonight. Are we sensing a little bit of a panic?
It's still up there, the panic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with RCB, it's always like that. But we still have batters. Come on, guys, let's finish this match. We don't need more tension. We've been like so
I
good through
think
the streak.
Nadine will come on now, right?
Yeah, I think in all likelihood that should be what should happen. Yeah, what should ideally happen from here? Nadine de Klerk coming in because the rest of the batting you still have Pooja, Arundhati, Radha, and all of that.
I'd rather bringing Nadine to like bat right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
Nadine de Klerk. We still got this, guys. Let's go. 23 of 14. But Nandini Sharma again showing what she's made of. Again, the anti-jinx spray onto Nadine there.
Nadine it is perfect.
But yeah, guys, the match is still not done. As Hari Prasad kept reminding us earlier in the conversation too, right? RCB needs 22 of 13. Smriti Mandhana there looking a little worried. Guys, that was another back of the hand delivery. Nandini executing it so beautifully, right?
How many
That was
wickets is she on at the moment?
let's actually take a quick check on that. Yeah, right now Nandini is at 16 wickets and she is
Okay.
joint
One
second rank with Nadine de Klerk. Yeah, just one away
one
from
one below Divine. Okay.
Sophie Devine. Yeah. Okay, guys, Nadine de Klerk and Smriti Mandhana out there. Things are still possible. Just one ball probably left in this
I was happy
over.
to see that Nandini Sharma cut out in the stands.
Yeah, really heartening sign there. Smriti Mandhana finishes
Ooh,
that over with a very good
nice.
boundary.
Good shot.
18 needed of the last two overs. Yeah, Darshan, you were mentioning?
Yeah, she was the only one between her and Richa. Like she was the only one to try and go through the offside where all the fielders are up,
Yeah.
because the entire field is set for like the pull shot. So I wish Richa had tried something like that because she is quite good through the offside as well.
Yeah. Probably a little bit of the panic spilling onto our live chat as well. Sports fans saying, guys, will you really bottle this chase? CSX says 20 from last two will be tricky, especially if Nadine gets out. Anu Nobody says this is Smriti's best T20 innings. Shajan says, guys, please refresh your feeds. You are far behind. I'm so sorry, Shajan. Like at this point, we're just going to be so superstitious, not move from our positions, not refresh our feeds, just like sit through this. I'm so sorry. Like probably, yeah,
I
we're gonna
think
have
the
to like do.
stream being behind is helping us.
Yeah. And please let us know like what happens if you have like antaryami information of what's happening in the future. Do let us know in comments. We would love that information. You can spoil it for us. We would not complain one bit. Naman says DC won all but one game by 7 wickets. Would be poetic for them to lose the final by seven. By 7 wickets. If you know, you know Thala for a reason. Yeah, Naman, thank you for that reference. Uh, ooh, that was Nadine de Klerk. Wow. 14 of 10. Sportsman asking us a very quick question here of who's going to bowl the next 2 overs itself. I mean, this is answered like Chanel Henry is bowling it right now. Probably the last over will go to someone like a Sri Charani, or they could be tempted to give
Should
Minu
not go
money.
there. Should not go
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But yeah.
ideally. Let's go, guys. Let's go. 14 required of 10. A quick single coming in there. Okay, Anu Nobody goes on to say probably Minu. Yeah, sorry. Minu can get that fine lower if it does end up going there. Naman, yeah, right. Shefali for the 20th over. That's exactly what they want to do in a situation like this. I mean, it could be like a very left field choice, but interesting. But yeah, guys, 13 of 3, how you guys feeling? I know this is the first time we're doing a watch along, and like right now, like a lot of emotions are happening. We're trying to be as calm as possible, but whew, what's running in your mind?
I'll talk after the
I'm
match.
okay. I just want to relax. Like I'm still feeling a little bit of tension. I just really wanted want them to finish it off and win, so I can relax.
Guys, just as we wanted to relax, Smriti Mandhana is dismissed. Chanel Henry gets the wicket. Can one RCB match just be without this tension? Like, what is happening? What is happening? Richa Ghosh also expressing her emotions there a little bit. No CSX, the game is not over. We're trying to be as calm, as relaxed as possible, but yeah, this is definitely going to go down to the wire. Again, guys, I think this was something we did talk about before the show started itself of the possibility of a super over. I don't think my heart can take that, but like, how are you guys on this? Like, do you sense a super over happening? Nope.
Please
Okay.
no.
I, I no. I hope not.
Please no.
That is.
Please no.
Yeah,
Please
not
no.
gonna
I hope
happen.
Bastarkar comes and finishes it with a couple of boundaries.
Hardik goes on to say trust Richa Yadav. I think he meant Radha Yadav, but yeah, I'm guessing she will be the next batter moving in. Please, 13 of
Yes.
8, just do not bottle it from here. Please do not. Radha Yadav, yeah, of course. But guys, we have to take a moment to like appreciate Smriti's knock, right? I think it was just one of those really, really brilliant ones coming. More importantly, in a final, amidst so much criticism that she doesn't perform in like clutch moments, and I think this was one of those knocks like right up there. Oh dear Lord. Okay. Minu Money drops a catch. A little bit of a panic setting in here, but RCB do end up taking 2 runs. 11 of 7. Yeah. Minu, what did you do?
Needless shot, I feel.
Oh, this is ending up, you know, that sort of a match.
You have six more balls after this over. That was a very needless shot.
Exactly. Radha Yadav, come
It should
on.
be a free hit for Radha now because you want Nadine on strike for the last over, whatever.
That's true.
Sportsfan goes on to say, Ab maza aa raha hai, and unknown nobody is like, fours are better than six. Interesting perspective. Okay, not sure if it's in this context of the match or like in general itself.
So Radha's
And
on strike next over.
of course, Naman had to bring in the 2016 reference again. Chanel almost pulled off a cutting like with the bat and the ball. No, Naman. I hope the last over can prove all of us wrong. Nahi chahiye hame ye dukh dard peeda. But yeah, guys, we're down to the last over. 10 required of 6 balls. In all likelihood, I think Sri Charni is getting that over.
Charney's
Yeah, yeah. Because Jemimah Rodrigues, the captain, is talking a lot to her. So Sri Charni is entrusted with the ball. Radha Yadav on strike. Please just give Nadine de Klerk the strike. We don't want anything else. I know, Roman. I know you were going to ask this question of where is that 18th over cup bold predictor? That's how AI is, right? That's how data is. It can be misleading and like human errors do happen. But yeah. Okay, Radha Yadav takes a single. Okay, okay. Sri Charni for the last over. Guys, what did you make of this move? Because I am not sure they had a lot of other options. Like the other option was probably Minu Mani or Sneh Rana. I know both of them can be clutch players on their given day, but Sri Charni, again, like the safest bet.
I guess they,
Yeah, this was the best possible option, I think.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
they
And
went for
especially
the.
given Smriti was out.
Sorry.
A lot of prayers, a lot of silence, I think, right now in the stadium because of how close this match is turning out to be. Nadine de Klerk. Okay. For the folks who have the stream ahead of us, please keep letting us know what is happening because right now I can see 8 or 4 needed. Yeah.
Why are they running? Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
Oof, yeah.
This is going needlessly close.
Yeah. Much to our dislike, but okay. I agree with you, CSX. Like, can't handle. I will die before 60 because of RCB. Like, agreed. Radha Yadav pierces the boundary. Yes, that's a boundary. She pierces the fielder. That's a boundary. Let's go. Ooh, this is the closest WPL final. Yeah, by a mile. Oh, 4 of 3 needed. Okay. Finally, wow. Radha hits a 4. 4 runs aenge. Yes.
Charani. I know what you're thinking, Naman.
Like I tell you, two sides of the same coin. They are like that. Delhi is looking absolutely distraught right now. Oof, what is happening? Oh my word, that's another boundary, but has rather like hit wicket? Like I saw the wickets like stump follow. That's a win. Has this happened? Oh my god, okay. I saw the wickets like fall for a minute. Let's go, guys. You can unmute. Just scream and
Tighter?
answer. Like, what's that?
Let's go.
But just to confirm, that wasn't the hit wicket, right? I felt like the stump lit up a little bit.
No,
that
no,
time.
No, she was quite far, like in front. I think it was.
The wicket keeper.
They're conferring now, but no, I think it. I have a feeling the keeper hit that.
Okay. Because Radha seems like pretty confident. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know nobody's similar question we two had. Like I want to like confirm this before we start yelling and celebrating and waking up everyone. Yeah. Because I saw the stumps light up, the LED stumps light up, the bails also.
Yeah, me
did
too.
fall.
But
For the folks who have the stream ahead of us, please let us know if you see something because we see firecrackers going there, a lot of hugs happening. It's confirmed RCB have won. Naman confirms it for us. Yeah!
Let's go.
we did it, guys. We did it.
Let's go.
Oh my god. Second, 200 plus chases. And highest successful WPL chase in a final.
Go.
Done by RCB.
And now with that, I've been holding. I haven't even said this out loud because I was afraid of jinxing it. RCB are the first team to hold the IPL and WPL trophies at once.
Let's go!
Let's go.
What a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel so bad for Jenny though. Like I don't even
I know.
like, but
Oof.
200. Oh my god.
Honestly, they're just
Oh,
speechless at this point because the odds were so heavily stacked against RCB winning this, but they have managed to pull off the
I
unthinkable.
know. Like,
Yeah.
like absolutely like they made this 200 chase like there was a bit of drama at the end, but they made it look so easy. Oh my god. Like
Yeah. Just,
yeah.
but guys, talk me through your emotions right now. Like Darshan has given his peace of mind. Hari Prasad probably, soaking this in. First time doing a watch along, but this has happened, right?
Still, it's still soaking in. Oh god, this was insane. I mean, needed this. Isala Kuda Cup Namdu. Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. But
I'll
like
happily
amazing.
take that, Naman. I'll happily take that. I'll happily take that.
Yeah, and he also goes on to add that Hari, you should probably settle in UK. RCB will keep winning, right? I mean,
If that's what it takes, then sure.
yeah. And I know nobody also goes on to say fours better options than trying to hit those mindless sixes. Absolutely agree with you. And I
Yeah, like
think
nerves of steel from Radha under pressure. Like, oh my god. Like she's
That's true.
just like she's so good at moving in her crease and sort of creating the angles. Like she did that beautifully.
yeah, just really love this. And I know
That's true.
nobody also goes on to say, "E Salakuda Cup Namde," which was something that did come up on the big screen. For the uninitiated, it means the cup is still ours, and this cup still continues to remain ours. And Hardik says, "As I said, trust Radha Yadav. I take back my words. I will eat my words because I was so apprehensive of her coming in up that early. But when we lost those wickets, you sort of really, really needed that." They continue,
Ah,
going after Hari Prasad in the comments there. If you come to India, yeah, you will get shared
never
treatment.
mind.
Oof. But guys, we have pulled off what has been a really long stream, like 3 hours, 50 minutes. Yeah, let's probably do like a last set of comments itself. Let's, take our moments to enjoy RCB lifting the trophy. But last thoughts on RCB's win, what it means to you, and how you're going to celebrate this win. Let's start off with Darshan, then Hari Prasad, you can take it on.
Yeah, yeah, just celebrate here. Not many people are RCB fans here, unfortunately, but yeah, just gonna enjoy the evening. Yeah, so yeah, gonna have a great time, and yeah, actually tomorrow's my birthday, so it's a wonderful birthday present. So
An
I
early
was just like
birthday
hoping the
present.
stars would line up.
Let's
So
go. Let's go.
thank you. So yeah, it's beautiful. So it's gonna make for a wonder. We're gonna celebrate this weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. But yeah, the euphoria is just sort of like coming in now. For so long, I was just like holding it off because I was afraid something was going to happen. Now it's all here. I'm just like, wow. Oh, it feels so good.
Perfect, Darshan. And Hari Prasad, again, like your thoughts on what this RCB win means. How you planning to just celebrate it, man?
First things first, advance happy birthday, Darshan. You've got an amazing gift from RCB. But yeah, I mean, I just first need to soak everything in, and then probably I don't know how I celebrated, but all in all, a beautiful WPL coming to an end, a happy end for us RCB fans, and a very competitive WPL finally coming to an end. Hoping this tournament continues to grow, and finally, Isala Kuda Cup Namdu.
Exactly. Fitting conclusion. And just, I think, a concluding note has to be I just hope that the celebrations in Bangalore are better planned this time. We don't want a repeat of what happened in 2025 with the men's team. But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much does conclude our very lengthy stream. We want to let you guys, go enjoy the win, watch the title celebration, be it, see the silverware also being lifted. But thank you so much, Darshan and Hari Prasad. I know sitting through a 3 hour stream is really, really hard. We're almost going to touch the 4 hour mark itself. But thank you so much for agreeing to come on board. I'm so glad, we could share this moment of RCB winning the trophy, their second WPL title itself. But that also means curtains for our, WPL segments here on the channel itself. Thank you so much to all the folks who joined in. The growth the channel has seen in the past few days has been really good. I don't compare it with other channels, at least like in general, it has been really good. Thanks to, lovely panelists like you joining in. Congratulations to us, and looking forward to the men's T20 World Cup now, right? The cricket action clearly doesn't stop. We will keep trying to come up with content like this. But yeah, folks, until next time, stay safe, take care, and let's enjoy this RCB win. Cheers.